Welcome back, my friends. Welcome back, Crypt Crew, to this edition of Lost in the Dark podcast. My name is Burton, and today we welcome back an extraordinarily special guest. We welcome back Brother Keith, lead vocalist of the Convalescence. He hasn't been on the show since like April. I've seen him a few times at a few shows throughout since then, but we haven't had a chance to sit down and really talk. So we get caught up on everything on this episode. We talk Earth Day, Birthday, Legacy and Blood Tour, Undead Swarm Tour, and the single, Michigan Metal Fest, 79 years, the single and the video, and of course, his Legend recording agency. And as always, links to all things Convalescence in the description below, including Legend recording agency and the music videos, their big cartel, their web store, everything is in the description below. Of course, Legend recording agency is where he signs bands and all that stuff. And before we get into it, I do have a quick shout out to one of those bands, our brothers over there at Dipping Milk in Cookies podcast, hosted by Garrett the Cookie Commander Smith and Mike the Master Milker Segovia. Of course, Garrett the Cookie Commander Smith is also the guitarist for Milwaukee metal band Reflection of Flesh. Huge shout out to them. They've been doing some really great episodes. Garrett also started another podcast called Along the Ride, where when they go on tour, he talks to all the other bands on the podcast that they're on tour with, and it's fucking outstanding. There's some great tour stories in there. I cannot recommend them enough. Huge shout out, as always, to our brothers from Wisconsin, Dipping Milk in Cookies. But without further ado, everyone, let's just dive into this show. Keith, of course, the lead singer of that great band from Ohio, the Convalescence, always doing something, always making moves. We talk about all that stuff. We get caught up, and he also gives us a couple little teasers at the end of the episode for what's coming up next. One of those things you already know, there's a huge European tour at the end of November with Carnifex and Chelsea Grand and many, many more. Lots of dates are already sold out. They are going to have a great time. It's going to be massive, and that kicks off at the end of November. Matter of fact, November 30th, my birthday, they play at Stockholm, which is, of course, where that great live DVD from Children of Bodom was recorded. So that's very exciting. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. My friends, welcome back to the podcast, our brother, our Crypt Crew family, Keith of the Convalescence. Welcome back, everyone, and we are joined today by the wonderful Keith from the Convalescence. He is back on the show, and you pointed out to me earlier that we haven't talked, you haven't been on the show since April, which blew my mind. I was like, it's been 5 months already? Like, God.
Yeah, I feel like we just talked on here.
I know. I mean, you know, I've seen you since in between now and then, a couple times, but that absolutely blew my mind. And one of I remember because specifically when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, when the last time you were on, we were like kind of like talking up and advertising the Earth Day birthday show,
right?
And that was in like Florida, right?
Yeah, Orlando. April 23rd.
Jesus. Okay.
So it's been a minute.
Wow. All right. Well, then how did that show end up going? Did you guys have a good time down there?
Oh yeah, it was killer, man. I mean, we ended up playing at the same time as Wage War. And they were on main stage and we were on like stage 3.
Mm-hmm.
And we played between Ice Nine Kills and Motionless in White. That was on like the stage next to us. So we had like a really big crowd, but there was only like a portion of them that wanted to lose their spot to come over and like see us by our stage. Right. So like if you're looking at like videos and stuff from like straight on, like if they were like straight back from the stage, there's like a couple hundred people or whatever that were like dead right in front of our stage, like raging with us and stuff. And but if you were to like look to the right off the stage, there was like 5,000 people watching, but they just like wouldn't move.
Right.
They're just like, oh yeah, these guys are a band, cool.
But they were still checking you out.
Yeah, they were still checking it out for sure. We got like, I'd be like, oh, everybody put your horns up, and like they would all do it too. They just wouldn't like shift over.
So they were totally listening and paying attention then.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right.
There was nothing going on in front of them.
Right.
It was just, you know, it was like Ice Nine Kills, and then we played next to them, and then Motionless in White was coming on. So it was like,
so was it like 3 stages, like side by side, like
no, the main stage was on the complete other side of the festival.
Oh, okay. All right.
It was like in an amphitheater. It was actually the same place we played Orlando with Judas Priest.
Oh, okay.
And then they had they had like the 2 like mobile like pop-up stages in the field on like the other side by like all the food trucks and stuff.
Oh, all right.
But it was a killer fest. We had a great time. It was good. It was awesome to kick off the year with that.
Yeah.
We did so much this year. It's weird to talk about kicking off the year too,
I know.
because, you know, at this point.
It is like, because we were talking for a second beforehand, and you mentioned how like I did the same thing. I went back through all like the Facebook posts and the Instagram and everything to like just remind myself, and I was like, oh my God, they have done so much shit in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, we've been busy the last couple months for sure.
Yeah, very, very, since the last time we talked, including some so you played that show, Earth Day Birthday. Was that show with the lineup that was in place the last time we talked?
No.
Okay, so it was in between then that there was member changes.
No, it was Charles, Zach. Those 2 did not play any shows with us this year at all.
Okay.
Katie played that show, and she also played 2 of the Florida shows during the Legacy and Blood tour, but that's all she played with us this year as well.
Okay.
So Cameron, that was his first touring show on drums, I guess. He did those 2 fill-in dates last year when Chuck had COVID. But that was so his 3rd show technically, and that was Brandon's first show back on guitar.
Oh, okay. All right.
And aside from like aside from Katie on a couple of the Florida dates, it's been just the 5 of us all year.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's you've had some lineup changes. And it seemed and didn't you recently announce oh wait, well, I guess it might have been a little while ago now. But yeah, I did see that you guys announced the departure, and it must have been at the same time, now that I'm thinking about it, departure of some members, including Katie, and the addition of like, because I know you had sometimes it would be like touring members and recording members and stuff like that.
Since 2017,
yeah,
it was the exact same lineup, touring, recording, everything.
Yeah.
We didn't have any fill-ins for anything. Nobody missed any shows. Like, everybody did everything. It was from 2017 up until when Chuck had COVID and couldn't get cleared in time. It was still testing positive. We had Cameron come fill in for those 2 shows, Incarceration and Orlando, in 2021, and then Charles came back and played the Battlecross shows.
Okay.
For Halloween. So it was back to our normal lineup. Like, it was never intended to be like permanent replacement. It was never intended to be like anything like that. And then we took the remainder of the year off last year and the beginning of this year, and we were starting to kind of ramp things up and get ready for, you know, a lot of festivals this year, get ready for this big Legacy and Blood tour, the full US again. There's like 5 weeks straight on the road or whatever. And, you know, just for various reasons, those guys were having trouble being able to go on the road with stuff at home and stuff. And, you know, when we brought Brandon back and we started rehearsing with Cameron and stuff like that, and the old members, like Katie prepared all the keyboard tracks to make sure that we were covered live for her parts. Zach, sat down and helped Brandon with his parts on some of the newer songs that Brandon didn't know. Charles came to practice and took notes and gave them to Cameron. I work on this, try this, that kind of stuff. So it wasn't like a fuck you kind of thing. It was like
right.
They were having trouble doing it, and originally it was just going to be that one tour.
Yeah,
that was going to be this different lineup or whatever. And we went out on the road, and the new guys, Cameron and Brandon, just attitude wise and playing wise and putting on a show wise and everything, talking to fans and everything, were just doing phenomenal, just crushing it, like better than we could have ever asked for. And everybody was getting along and everything was cool. And it just kind of seemed like the other members had more going on in their personal life, or maybe wanted to do something a little different musically. And we just kind of, had some talks with those members and stuff, and decided that it would be best if we kind of parted ways and just kind of started this new chapter, and we support those guys in whatever they're doing.
Excellent.
And we wish the best for them. And I know that, I know there's no hard feelings here or anything like that. It was just more, it's gotten to a point where the reality of it is, metal bands don't make a ton of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's
when you're trying to do certain things in your home life, but we're trying to leave for 5 weeks straight and then be home for a month and then leave for a month and then be home for this,
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work together well.
Right.
So totally respect what, their decision, and totally don't plan to slow down on our end either. So it was a mutual thing, and that's why we didn't make any announcements till after the Legacy and Blood tour.
Yep.
We were still kind of talking to them about it. We wanted to see how the new guys did on a tour of that length. I know Brandon's done it with us before, when he was in the band prior, but Cameron had never done a tour at all. So that Florida show we took him down with Judas Priest was one of his first out of state shows ever.
Oh wow.
Ohio. So it was
he's on drums, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
And we were you always kind of want to see how this guy's gonna do when you just really like throw him into the fire like that. Like, all right, you're going on a 5-week headline tour. We were playing for 45 plus minutes every night and whatever. And it's like, all right, let's see how this goes. Cause we didn't have a ton of off days or anything like that. And he was all about it. And I remember like we were getting home to drop him off from the tour. He's like, I don't want to go home. Like, so, we kind of knew at that point, within a couple days of being home, he was already on it, like practicing the set for the next tour.
Oh wow.
So it's the work ethic is there and everything. And I think that we didn't want to announce that some of these core members and like literally half the band was leaving without being able to be like, hey, this is who's stepping in, this is our plan, we already did a whole tour like this.
Yeah.
So we weren't like, I don't know, we weren't trying to like hide it, we weren't trying to like whatever, but we wanted to give the core members that are normally members of the band time to think about what they wanted to do, time to figure out stuff at home, give us time to figure out what the future was really going to look like with the band. So a lot like hinged on that tour. And when we came home, it was really, had those conversations and decided that we would make it all, one big announcement of, this is what's going on. So it was definitely tough, man. I mean, Katie had been in the band for 9 years.
Yeah.
Charles had been with us since 2016. Zach had been with us since 2016. They all played on the new record.
That's it. Yep.
So, it's one of those things. It's difficult, but sometimes moving forward is difficult, for everybody. So, I mean, that's kind of where that's at.
I am really glad to hear though that it wasn't that there's no bad blood, that there's
we got no issues with any of those guys.
And that makes me really happy, because it sounds just like a situation of circumstance at the end of the day. And I'm sorry, I just know his name on social media. What's the drummer's name again? Cameron. Yeah.
Yes.
I met and he, you know what, man, he seems like a really great guy. I've met him a couple times, but the first time when we were at the Cult Affairs filming, and I hung out with him a bit. I talked to him a bit, and he kind of seemed like, because he's very, very tall,
right.
He's very tall and he's very like lanky and stuff. And he kind of seems like a wild man, which makes sense for a drummer.
I mean, he kind of is.
Right. Fair enough. But at the same time, it was then that I became friends with him on social media, and when he basically got the call to come out and fill in for some spots on with you guys and stuff like that. Like I watched all of his posts and I read them and stuff like that, and I was like, this guy seems like really serious about this. Like he seems like this, like he's found his home or something. Like he really seems to love it. So I got that's pretty awesome that you found some new guys that are like,
honestly, man, like, Brandon was a no-brainer on guitar. He had played guitar with us all the way up until like the end of 2017. And he wrote a lot of the stuff on This Is Hell.
Yeah. Okay.
He was on that record. Obviously he toured with us during the Poison Words cycle, so he knew a lot of stuff from Poison Words. He knew a lot of stuff from The Process. Nice. And the only stuff he didn't know as a guitar player was like really the stuff off Monument of Misery, and obviously the new stuff. So like, since we usually play kind of a mashup set to an extent, he already knew 3/4 of the set, and he was our lead guitar player on the other side of Zach. So when he left, Toby replaced him.
Oh.
So he was like the last guitar player we had before Toby came in.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so when he came in to step in for Zach, it was almost like we have 2 lead guitar players now.
Awesome.
Speaking in the sense, like we never really labeled like your lead, your rhythm, or whatever, but
fair enough.
Generally, like Toby plays more of the solos. Generally, Brandon played more of the solos, and had the flashier parts. But so now we have both of them. They're both phenomenal guitar players. So that was really awesome. And the deal with Cameron is actually, it's a really cool story. Basically, he saw us for the first time. He's 21 now.
What?
He saw us for the first time.
Giant. Jesus.
He saw us for the first time when he was 14 years old.
Oh, and wow.
He saw us open up for Mushroom Head.
Oh, okay.
In Toledo, and which used to be a 2 times a year kind of thing when they were a lot more active, and they were coming to, being from Cleveland, they would come through Toledo all the time.
They played Flint like 20 times a year.
Yeah. I think I've been opening for Mushroom Head almost twice a year since I was like 14. So we met him then. I remember like him being front row at that show, just raging. And I've talked to him about it.
Wait, you remember him when he was 14?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
really?
This is funny actually. So he was a Mushroom Head fan. He came to see Mushroom Head. He was a kid. He didn't understand that there would be like opening bands. So he just got there when the ticket said Doors.
Sure, yeah.
Because as far as he knows, they're going to open
Yeah.
doors and Mushroom Head's going to start playing. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? And I thought kind of the same thing when I started going to concerts. Like,
totally.
oh, this says Doors. I better be there. Like,
yeah.
So he came in, and there's a couple local bands, and then we were one of the last bands to play before Mushroom Head. And we went up there in the face paint and everything, and he like pinpointed the moment. He's like, dude, when I heard that breakdown in Parasite with the keyboards going and stuff, he's like, changed my life. Just like, I love this band, you know? So the next time we played, we were opening for Mushroom Head again, same venue and everything, like a year or two later. And Ron comes in and he goes, dude, there's this kid out front. He's the only person in line. So this was like 2 hours before Doors, and it was snowing. And he's like, there's this kid in line with his phone out, just blasting Reflections over and over, headbanging by himself in line. He's like, you got to go talk to him. So I went out and met him, and there's actually a picture of me and Cameron when he was like 15 in front of the venue, and you could see Mushroom Head's tour bus in the background and everything. And he was just stoked to be there. He's actually in the Reflections live video, in the pit, in the front row, flipping off the camera, everything. When he was 16, he got our band logo tattooed like straight from here to here on his arm. Like, it was like one of his first tattoos. He's like, my favorite fucking band, you know, whatever. Couple years go by, this dude, every fucking thing we would put up for sale, he was like within a minute buying it. He like did one of the raffles, and he ended up buying one of Ron's old stage shirts, which is like funny now. But because now you want to be away from Ron's stage shirt in his situation. But you know, he was like all in, showing up to shows in corpse paint, you know, just going all out, like knew every word. Convalescence is his favorite band, you know what I mean? Like, absolutely. So we did Death Fest 2018, and he showed up, you know, just partying, dude. And we were like, man, you're underage, like, get off our bus. Like, you got to get out of here. And he's like, dude, I just want to hang out, man. He's like in corpse paint. It's like noon. We don't go out until like 11 p.m. He's trashed already. And you know, so he's there, and he's partying all night and whatever. And at the end of the night, he runs up to Charles and is like, dude, let me play your kit. Let me play your kit for like 5 minutes. And Chuck's like, man, no. Like, don't touch my shit. Like,
I mean,
and he's like, I won't break anything, dude, I swear. Like, just let me play your kit for like 5 minutes. And he jumped up there and got like a picture of himself that's like, I can vouch, just framed in his house behind Chuck's kit. And he played Chuck's drums for like one drum fill and put the stick right through his floor tom. Like, dude, it was like not even a whole drum fill.
Oh no!
Split the head. And like, we had a show in Memphis like the next day.
Oh my god!
So he ended up like PayPaling us money to stop at Guitar Center and buy a new head for Chuck's fucking floor tom.
Oh my god!
And like, Chuck was like, "You're never playing my shit ever again." Like, whatever. And then a couple of years go by, and you know, obviously you saw him at like the Cult of Fair shoot and all that kind of stuff. And
a couple shows here and there.
He would help out as much as he could. We used to let him jump up and spray blood, and you know, all that kind of stuff. And he was always around the band, and we knew him. You'd see him right away and be like, "Hey, dude, what's up?" You know,
you can't miss him.
You can't miss him, yeah. And he was at work, and what had happened is we came off the 10-year anniversary tour, the part 1 with Filth.
Yeah.
And when we got home, me and Charles both tested positive for COVID. So we canceled Rocklahoma, which sucks. We were supposed to play with Slipknot.
Mm.
So we canceled Rocklahoma because there was no way that either one of us were going to be good. I did my 10 days of like quarantine, whatever, and I took another test. It was negative. So I'm like, you know, I'm still sore. I'm tired from the last week of feeling like trash, but overall, you know, I'm okay. And I tested negative. So I'm good to go. I'm past the 10 days. I'm negative. We're cool. We call him. It's like 2 days before we fly down to Orlando. And he says, dude,
wow.
and Charles goes, dude, I tested positive this morning. There's no way I can go play these shows. He's like, I'm still so sick. I'm like, you know, bedridden and like the whole deal. And he's like, I just feel horrible. There's no way I can play drums. And we were trying to find out any way we could pull this off. We had no idea what we were going to do because, you know, he's been our drummer for 5 years at that point.
Yeah.
We didn't have a backup. You know what I mean? Like that's just, he's our drummer, period.
Yeah.
And
he was at the time, correct me if I'm wrong, at the time he would have been the drummer that's been in the band the longest out of
anyone. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so we're like, fuck, how are we gonna pull this off? Because we're 1 day away from flying out to shows, opening for Judas Priest and Sabaton in Florida, and then opening for Rob Zombie at Incarceration, which is sold out, like 20,000 plus people. And you don't cancel those shows.
No.
You know what I mean? You don't. And we're like, man, what do we do? What do we do? We had so much money wrapped up in plane tickets and merch and, you know, just promotion for the festivals and like the whole deal. So we're like, dude, we're screwed if we cancel these shows and can't make any of this money back and can't get in front of these people at the very least. And so I'm panicking. I can't think of a drummer that's even going to know remotely close to enough of our set. We have 1 day, and I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to do this. And I typed in the Convalescence drum covers on YouTube, and Cameron pops up playing I Dream. And I'm like, no way. I didn't even think about this dude.
What up, dude?
So I called him at work. He was like mowing the lawn at his job. I called him, asked him how many songs he knew. And he's like, oh, how many do I need to know, man? And he was like joking. And I was like 5. Because we had short sets because it was a festival.
Right. Yeah. You're open. Yeah.
And I was like, and better yet, you got to know 5 songs off this list. Because we were like prepared as a band to play certain songs.
Yeah, of course.
And so there's a list of 12 songs, and he had to know 5 out of that list of 12 songs out of our 50 plus song discography. And he happened to know 5 songs on that list. So I was like, do you want to play drums for us this weekend? And he's like, are you fucking with me? And I was like, dude, I really wish I was, but like, this band is fucked if you're not down to play drums for us, basically. Like, and he's like, well, what do I need to do? I was like, send me all your information because I need to buy you a plane ticket, like right this second. Because he had to be on the same flights as us, or he wouldn't be able to get there with us, like on the right times and stuff. So we bought him plane tickets immediately before we even heard him play the songs. Because we're like, we don't have time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we bought these plane tickets and said, you know, be at Zach's tomorrow, and we're gonna run the set. He's like, well, I can't take off work, so like I'll have to head there straight from work. And we're like, cool. So he drives straight to Zach's house from his job, which was like an hour. We had enough time that me, Toby, Zach, and Cameron played each song one time. And then we packed up, put it in the bus, and we drove to the airport in Detroit to fly to Orlando. That was all the practice he got. He got one run of each song. And then we were on a flight.
And after that run, what did you think?
Well, I mean, like it was good for what happened. You know what I mean? Like it was good, but there was obviously, you know, some hiccups and some stuff that wasn't quite to the caliber that we would have liked it to be, but there was a lot that was.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like we got through it. We didn't totally bomb any songs or anything. it just wasn't as tight as what we were used to playing with Charles, who had been playing drums with us for 300 plus shows. You know what I mean?
Of course.
And this guy got to play one song each.
Right.
Jump on a plane, and now he's opening for Judas Priest tomorrow. and like the kicker with that was we used Goonlord's gear down there.
No way, really?
So he was playing on a kit that he's never even seen before.
Oh my God.
So, and it's not like he got time to practice on it, because like we showed up and they built that kit and it had to go on stage immediately.
So literally everything possible is stacked against this guy.
Absolutely. So he went up there. I mean, he was like shitting himself, painting up and stuff. Like before we went on, we had a great crowd. It was fantastic show down in Orlando. We were all pumped. As soon as we got done playing, we had to jump in the rental, drive straight to the airport, turn in the rental, and pretty much run to our gate to catch a flight to Cleveland. And Icer and our driver, Alex, at the time, had driven the bus. They dropped us off in Detroit, and they drove the bus to Cleveland to pick us up at the airport the next day.
Okay.
So like we played Orlando and flew out 2 hours after our set.
Jesus Christ.
And so we're like half painted up, still dripping blood, walking through TSA. It's 9/11. And we're just trying to get back so we can play Incarceration with Rob Zombie the next day. And if we don't get on this flight, we're going to miss our show.
Oh my God.
So like we get there, we get through everything, we get on the flight, we fly back, bus picks us up, we go straight to Ohio State Reformatory, the prison, where the show was, and loaded in at 7 o'clock the following morning from Orlando. And now he's back on his kit, and we have our gear now. And we ended up playing, and it ended up, and he killed it. Day 2, he killed it. Most of the hiccups were day 1. And I think a lot of it was probably nerves.
So I was gonna say, yeah. How did day 1 go? Because
day 1 went good. Day 2 went better.
Okay.
But
definitely nerves.
And he was on his own
with his favorite band.
Yeah. day 2, he was on his own kit as well.
And with everything stacked against him. Yeah.
Right. So we played 2 shows, almost 1,200 miles apart in 18 hours. So that was a stressful moment for any of us.
You threw any of you, but like you threw him into the fire.
Right. Right. This was like dire situation. Okay? Yeah. And after that, he was done with the band. Chuck was coming back. Chuck wasn't sick anymore. Like that was his moment. You know what I mean? Like, and then Charles came back and did the Battlecross dates with us and played drums during the Cult Affairs stuff and everything. And then, like I said, just life happened basically after that. And
it happens. Yeah.
He let us know that he wasn't going to be able to tour probably at all this year. So we called Cameron, like, dude, you want to learn some more songs and like quit your life? And he's like, fuck yeah, dude. So yeah, he like straight up, he like quit his job and just started playing drums like 12 hours a day, like to get ready, and took off with us. And he's done fantastic, man. I couldn't ask for a better person to step in, but the story of him getting to that point is just killer, man. Like that could be a movie.
Literally.
So
you just took the words out of my mouth.
It's like almost unbelievable.
It really is. It really is. For everything from like being his favorite band, and then he ends up being able to play his favorite band's drum kit, and then he breaks it. Like,
right.
And then he gets the call, and it was
wild,
story.
Dude. It's really been a wild couple of years, especially for him.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he's having fun and he's stoked to be here. He's also still doing he's drumming for No Luck, the punk band.
Wow. Okay.
He's drumming for Cerebral Cortex still as well.
Oh, no shit. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So
all right. Awesome.
That's the band that he's been in.
Yeah, right.
And,
That's
Yeah, so crazy stuff for sure.
And Cerebro's still on Legendary, right?
I've never worked with them.
Oh, I thought you did.
No,
Oh,
I put them on some Toledo shows and stuff
okay.
like that, and I've definitely gone out to their shows and like supported and stuff. But yeah, they've never signed with me or anything.
Oh wow. All right. Cool. That is something that I wanted to ask about is how like I've been seeing a lot of bands getting signed to Legendary lately, and a lot of the ones that you have signed, from War, Squid Hammer, Living Dead Girl, a lot of these bands you've been not touring somewhat with, like playing shows with, definitely a lot. And then also a lot of them are now like going out on their own tours. I know War just announced a big one.
Yep.
With some dates with Casket Robbery, of course, used to be on the label. So I was just like, how's the Legend Recording Agency
it's good. I mean,
beautiful,
busy as ever.
Good.
Got a lot of bands hitting me up, trying to get out on the road, trying to get their new albums out, stuff like that. And I do what I can, for everybody. And
you do.
Yeah. War's about to go out on that massive
big one.
That massive tour. Yeah, we just kept adding to it, and we're still adding dates. Like there's gonna be more dates announced for that.
Nice. Yeah, because I don't think there's a Michigan date yet. So
there is not, and there's not going.
Okay, fair enough.
There won't. So, but there is New Haven, Indiana. So,
okay. All right, that's not
Fort Wayne area.
Yeah.
That's not so far.
No, not at
all. No, originally they were just supposed to do the dates with Hemlock.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Just that little first run on the East Coast.
Yeah.
With Hemlock, and when we got that booked, they were like, oh, well, instead of driving straight home after New Orleans, can we add more dates? Can we get to Texas? And it just so happened that I had also booked that tour for Summoner's Circle and Casket Robbery.
Oh.
And the dates that they're going to be in Texas were immediately following when War was going to end with Hemlock.
Oh, shit.
And the dates were already booked. So I just contacted those promoters, like, can we add War to this? Can we add War to this one? Can we add War to this one? And the guys in Summoner's Circle and Casket Robbery were really cool about it, and the promoters were all cool about it. So we were able to just kind of add them to those existing dates already. And then they're like,
oh, man, that's great.
We got the call from the manager for Scars of Atrophy. And they used to be Atrophy, the thrash band. From
okay. All right.
Way back.
Yeah.
And they're from Arizona, and they wanted to do dates with War because they had played with them at Dime Stock in Wisconsin.
Oh,
and
wow.
They were like, we'd love to do some dates. I was like, well, we can do a couple more dates into the Southwest. And War really wanted to get to California, and I had just picked up, just signed on with Fused by Defiance from Los Angeles, and they were like, we're down to do the West Coast with them. So it's kind of like they do the Hemlock stuff on the East Coast. They jumped on the Casket Robbery dates. Then they're doing the Southwest with Scars of Atrophy, and then the West Coast around to Denver with Fused by Defiance, and then Squid Hammers from Wisconsin.
That was the other one. Yep.
I've been working with those guys for a long time, and they wanted to get back out on the road around Halloween anyway. And they're really impressed by War. They played together at Toledo Death Fest and everything. And I hit them up. I was like, do you guys want to do the Midwest dates with War? And they're like, yeah, dude, for sure. So we stuck them together on those dates. So we just kind of puzzle pieced that tour and just kind of kept booking. It's not going to go any longer than it already is, but we're filling in some of the gaps because a lot of it was booked kind of last minute.
That's all. That's awesome though. That's really great.
Yeah.
That's Squid Hammer was another one I forgot to mention that is you guys have been playing with a lot. Yeah, and I saw them at the I-95 Speedway show, which I'm sure you remember for all the wrong reasons. But
that's been a year now.
Yeah.
It's been a little over a year now.
Yeah. But they absolutely blew me away. They were really great. And what's the shit? I forgot
Squid
to write
Hammer
it.
didn't play that show.
Oh wait, really? Who am I thinking of then? Fuck.
Maybe Filth Spewer.
Phil Spewer.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, they're
That is
killer. They're
correct.
from Indiana though, a little bit closer.
They are. Yeah, they're killer. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, thank you for correcting me on that one. But who's the I forgot to write it down. Who's the one you just hit me up about? That's gonna be on October like 8th or something.
October. Are you talking about Influence?
I think maybe
They're from Detroit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like it was a new sign, and I think they only have like one video out or something.
Maybe Dawn of Flames.
Dawn of Flames. That was it. That was it. Yep.
Yeah. They've been a band for a long time actually. They just kind of rebranded.
Oh, okay. All right.
They've been a band for a long time. I think.
Oh yeah.
I think we played with them in Texas in like 2016.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Jesus. But yeah, no, and that you know, like a lot of time, like there are times, I don't know if it's a lot of times, but there are times where you'll hit me up about a new band you have on, and I'll do a reaction video, and every single time without fail, like you have, of anyone I know, you probably have the best track record of anyone of showing me stuff that I've never heard before that I end up falling in love with, like stuff that I end up absolutely loving.
That's awesome to hear, man. I try to work with good bands and get them out there as much as I can.
And they're all of them are so far have been just amazing. Even what I remember you even said one time when you were talking about Living Dead Girl, you're like, I don't know if you'll be totally into this, but
it's just a little lighter. She's really good.
Oh, she's amazing. And but in fairness, like when I was because one of her big influences, and she, you know, she does not hide this at all, is Avril Lavigne.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in high school, Avril Lavigne was huge. So you know, I was like, you know, and when a young metalhead is in high school, they're like, fuck the radio.
Right. If it's popular, it sucks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I got you.
And but at the same time, like a hit's a hit. A catchy song is a catchy song. And so
she's really good.
It's not like I didn't I ended up learning to appreciate that style of singing and stuff like that. And yeah, no, Molly is fucking amazing. Like she's
we had the opportunity. They did birthday with us.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
and then they played the Toledo show with us on the Legacy and Blood tour as well.
Death Fest?
No.
No. The Toledo headliner. Yep. Yes. And that's actually, so yeah, with a lot of these bands that we've just talked about, you guys not only did so you did the Legacy and Blood tour with Necronomicon, Alika, and Reflection of Flesh.
Yep.
Of course. And then you did the Undead Swarm tour. And it was around then that you released that track, right?
We released Undead Swarm like right after we got back from the Legacy of Blood tour.
Right. Okay. Yes.
Kind of the plan was that we weren't going to play it on that tour. We were just going to hype it up. We were going to tell everybody about it.
Right.
And, you know, during the tour, we had a lot of people like up on our bus. Like we were like, check these tracks out. We'd show them a couple songs off the new album and just kind of get people's reaction, you know, not like random people, but people we knew, you know, and just kind of hype people up about it a little bit. And then we figured if we dropped it and it was a lyric video, being more of like a melodic, like catchier song, we're like, well, if we go play this on the next tour at all these fests, we can probably get a lot of people singing along, which happened. So that was cool. But yeah, we released Undead Swarm in June, like right after we got back. I think June 9th.
Okay. And then you go on the Undead Swarm tour.
Yes.
which that one lasted through most of the summer.
It was like August into September. Like,
oh, that's right. Yeah.
It was kind of short for us, but it was like a normal tour for most people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And really, like, we didn't intend for it to even be a tour originally. Like, we had already planned Toledo Death Fest,
of course,
to be the summer, because it's usually a summer fest.
Yeah.
And I worked with Steve at Michigan Metal Fest, and we went back and forth to make sure we weren't doing the same date, which originally they were going to be on the same day.
Oh wow!
So good thing we talked.
Yeah.
So I feel like that would have hurt both shows. After seeing the turnout to both of those, I feel like
100%.
It was better to do them separate weekends.
100%.
So because I saw a lot of the same people at both shows.
I bet. Yeah.
But so we planned Death Fest, so that was like the next weekend. And then we got the offer to do Summit Fest in Akron, Ohio, the following weekend after that. And then Rust Fest was also that following weekend. So now we had like 4 festivals like in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Like 3 weekends. And we're like, well, this doesn't make sense to bring everybody up from Texas and everything and play 4 shows over the course of 2 weeks. So we just kind of booked like a bunch of markets that we like going to around the Midwest. Like, we didn't go super far. Like, I think the farthest like west we went was like Des Moines.
Hello, my friends. My name is Burton, and I am the host of the Michigan Metal podcast, Lost in the Dark podcast. And I would like to introduce you to an all-new, all-paranormal podcast called Follow the Reaper, where I examine all true first or second-hand listener-submitted paranormal or unexplainable encounters of any kind. So if you or anyone you know has a story that they would like to share or have shared on the show, please reach out to us on social media or Gmail at Follow the Reaper Podcast. I would love to hear from you. And of course, please enjoy this episode of Lost in the Dark.
And I think the farthest east we went was Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And the furthest south was Nashville.
Okay. So that's a
right
that's
here.
A little square. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really like right here, and it was just literally to link the festivals together.
Wow.
So it would be like every weekend was like festival, and then headline shows throughout the week.
Fill in the gaps.
Festival. Yeah. So
and then also you had the North Wisconsin Metal Fest.
Yeah, that was actually, we ended the tour after Summit Fest, and there was 2 weeks before Northern Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
So everybody went home, and then when they came back, we linked up with Within Chaos and Squid Hammer, and we did like a 3-day weekend run that we still billed as part of the Undead Swarm tour because it was easier to just advertise everything on one flyer versus
keep it going. Like, yeah.
Oh, guys, we didn't mention this, but we got 3 dates coming up, whatever.
Yeah.
So we just did Janesville, Wisconsin on Friday. We did Northern Wisconsin Metal Fest on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we did Chicago. So that was it. And then we came home.
What did you do in Chicago? What show was that?
It was us and Within Chaos with a couple local bands on September 11th.
Where'd you play?
Social Club.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, cool show.
Oh, yeah.
Not a huge turnout, but there was people there and they were super into it, which kind of makes up for, a smaller thing.
Right. Yeah.
So,
absolutely. Yeah. And so really like the end of the Undead Swarm tour was a lot of festivals.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole Undead Swarm tour
was kind of based around them.
Yeah. Like the kickoff of it was we played this little like 100 cap venue in New Haven, Indiana with Green Jelly.
Oh, wow. Oh,
and it was madness in there.
so Green Jelly kind of played more than one show with you this year then.
Yeah, we did the New Haven, Indiana. Was the first show of our tour. They had already been on tour.
Oh,
but
wow.
it was in a place that we love to play, Carl's Tavern.
Oh, yeah.
New Haven, Indiana, little tiny place. It's like a hallway.
But I've heard people love it. Like I've never been
Oh,
there,
yeah.
but like I've heard nothing but good things about that venue.
Oh yeah, Carl's is awesome, and we got to play there. There was like a couple rappers that opened up, and then it was just us and Green Jelly.
Oh, wow.
And it was free.
Cool.
So it was packed.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And you know, I don't know. Did you see Green Jelly set at Michigan Metal Fest?
I don't think I did actually. No.
Okay, so they put like everybody that's willing to in the crowd, plus the like 30 people that tour with them, and all of that. They put everything into, or everybody into these like puppet heads.
Yep.
And it's just craziness. So if you can imagine 30 or 40 puppets in 100 capacity like dive bar, even standing on top of the bar, jumping up and down and stuff while they play Three Little Pigs, it was madness.
Oh my God.
So it was a super wild like start to the tour. And we did a headline show in Indianapolis, and then we did Michigan Metal Fest was like the third show
of the Undead Swarm tour.
Yes.
Oh wow.
And then we had to do Rockford, Illinois at Reckless Fest. We headlined Reckless Fest the next day.
God damn.
And then we had headline shows in Des Moines, Kansas City, Nashville, and Cincinnati. And then we did Toledo Death Fest. And then we had headline shows in Buffalo, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh. And then we did Rust Fest and Summit Fest. And then we had the 2 weeks. And then we did the 3 dates to go up to Northern Wisconsin Metal Fest. So, definitely cool. Northern Wisconsin Metal Fest was a blast for us. I don't know if you saw the video.
Yes, I did.
But we got to do the fireworks show.
Yes. Dude, that video actually like when I watched it gave me goosebumps. I was like, we
were so stoked. Like,
dude, I was like, I've met these guys and they're playing this song and the fireworks going off. I was like, that's like, you know, in the United States, it's almost as close as you get to Vakken. Like,
I mean, yeah, it was
in a sense. At least.
It was so cold.
Oh, really?
I mean, think about it. You're in Northern Wisconsin at 11 p.m.
Yeah, but it's summertime.
September 10th is not summertime anymore up there. It was like 50 degrees, dude.
Oh my God.
So
really?
It's cold. You know what I mean? And it had rained kind of on and off. And so it was like damp and cold. And we played that fest a bunch of times, but you're like literally playing on a concrete slab that's built into like the side of a hill.
Oh, wow.
So we're the last band. And when we got there, we had no idea we were doing the fireworks. We got there that morning, and the owner, you know, I've known him forever. My old band played that fest in like 2010.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, so I've been going to that fest, you know, every couple years we'll stop by and play. And they're always cool. I send different bands up there every year. But he goes, dude, we got a surprise for you guys. We've been saving it all weekend. During the end of you guys' set, we're going to shoot off some fireworks. And we're like, that's awesome. Like, let's do it for sure. And we didn't really get any details on what was about to happen for most of the day. And like right before we went on, I like told my band, I was like, so don't freak out at the end. There's going to be a bunch of explosions, but they're like planned. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, they're going to shoot off fireworks. It's going to be cool. And they're like, all right, well, hopefully we don't catch on fire. We'll see how this goes. And like, we're playing Scum, and we get like to the end of Scum, and there's like a couple that are going off. And I'm just like, I need everybody to bang your fucking heads, you know, whatever. And we go into that last like little breakdown thing that we do at the end of the set. And they just lit them all off, dude. And like, I it's hard to tell in that video. There's a couple of videos from different angles of it, but I got the super soaker. I'm spraying everybody with blood across the front. And I remember looking up, spraying blood like up top, and there's like 40 fireworks going off across the sky.
So you could actually see that is one thing that's hard to tell from the videos. Is I was wondering if you could actually see
they were
them.
shooting these off like 15 feet from the van.
Oh my god!
Like a lot.
Oh my god!
So it was pitch black, dude, because there's like no lights.
It was very dark. Yeah. It
So
looked very dark.
It was crazy, but I'm glad that we finally got to blow some stuff up. That was pretty cool.
Oh my god, dude, that's so cool. That is so cool. That like when I saw it, I was like, that's like Wacken. That's like a Rammstein show. Like that's like
right. It was very much lower scale than some of those, but it
sure.
Was,
well, yeah, sure.
For what we are, it felt like that. I was like, this is awesome.
God damn it. That is so fucking cool, man. That is awesome. But yeah, going back a little bit, you were one of the spots that you mentioned that you guys went to Torden was Des Moines, and I know that when you went to Des Moines you posted some things about visiting Paul and Joey's grave.
Yes, yeah, we always do.
Yeah, like how was
we go to Des Moines?
Oh, so you've been to it before?
We've been to Paul's before.
Well, yeah.
Of
course, yeah.
This was the first time we've been there since Joey. But yeah, we regularly go when we're in Des Moines and go pay our respects to Paul. And now Joey, we do the same thing when we go to the Dallas area. A lot of the times we'll stop by and see Vinny and Dime. And yeah, it's just something we do.
I saw those pictures and it was I saw that picture and I sent it to Aaron because Aaron is of course like Joey is his Alexi, his to me,
right,
like his god, and that sparked a conversation of like we need to visit like that place and the place where Diamond Vinny are, and he was even like, we need to take a fucking trip to Finland to see Alexi's grave and stuff.
Yeah.
And so like when I saw that, like it sparked a whole conversation, and it just I thought it was really cool that you guys went there, and that's a huge thing.
Yeah, we always try to pay some respects to the people that were a big part of why we do this.
So. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because this is I think seeing you guys now as a 5-piece, normally I'm used to seeing you as almost a full 9 Slipknot piece,
right,
you know what I mean? So that was just really cool. Were there any other like specific memories that you have from these tours that you've done, these festivals that you've done, specific memories or wild places that you visited along the road, or anything that particularly stick out from these ones?
Yeah. I mean, we got out to California. Mm-hmm. And our San Francisco show canceled during the Legacy and Blood tour.
Okay.
And really, it's a thing that's going around a lot. There's too many tours happening at once.
Well,
it's literally what it comes down to.
It's like the floodgates closed for the first time in history, and now they're open. So,
and now that overflow is just like, during that Legacy and Blood tour. 2022 is the first year since COVID that like everybody has been able to do full on like tours. Like 2021, like some places you still couldn't play, some places were limited capacity. Nobody really wanted to do a long tour.
Yep, it was very
a lot of festivals were still not happening. Like some of them were, but like people were giving them a lot of shit for still happening too.
Yep.
And it was like a really weird gray area if you wanted to go out and tour or not. 2022, it was like, we're back.
Yep.
Everybody go.
Yep.
So with everybody out, you know what I mean? Like during that tour, there was at least 10 other major metal tours happening during our tour.
For
at
sure.
least 10,
Yeah.
if not far more.
Yeah.
And what had happened was, San Francisco is not a major market for us anyway. We've played there, we've done some good shows there, like we like the Bay Area and everything, but it's just not a major selling market for us. And the venue we were supposed to play, because we had so many bands on the tour package, would not allow us to have any local support acts. So it was just the 4 tour package bands, none of which were from anywhere near California.
Oh.
And then they booked, Bergeria, the day before us.
Okay.
And they booked Goat Whore the day after us.
Oh my God.
All at the same venue. And both of those big national shows had 3 locals on each one selling tickets.
Yeah.
And ours had no local support. The venue really didn't push it very hard. And they hit us up and they're like, listen, we're just going to send you your guarantee and we're not going to do the show. Like it, people had bought tickets, but it was low ticket sales. It was like a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And so it was just better all around that all the bands didn't pay all the tolls and whatever to get in and out of San Francisco and try to park in San Francisco with all the buses and RVs and headache that would be, and the venue to lose money opening up for 10, 20 people maybe.
Yeah.
So everybody just called it off. And I mean, the venue was really cool about it. They still sent us our money.
All right. Well,
it was what it was. So we took the unexpected off day. We had 2 days off in a row at that point because we had a scheduled off day already.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we got a hotel.
There's a lot for you on tour.
Yeah. So it was needed because we started the tour with, I think, 9 shows in a row.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
So it
You're savages.
going from starting in Michigan all the way out to Seattle with no days off.
Oh my God.
So we were ready for an off day or two. And we got a hotel at like the base, like the foot of Mount Shasta in California.
Wow. Okay.
And just in this little town, and the hotel looked like a log cabin, basically. You know what I mean?
Neat.
And
that's neat.
It was cool. We slept there, and our merch guy Icer, I know you've
a
bunch of times.
Love Icer. Huge shout out to Icer.
He wakes up and he goes, dude, they do cave tours here, and we're like, okay. And he's like, we got to go, dude. We got to go. So we went to this cave tour, and I know we posted a band photo from in there, and I posted some other photos from in there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we went on this we had to like sail from where we were to like across Lake Shasta to get to this mountain, and then take another like vehicle up the fucking side of the mountain and go in like halfway up. And it was like 600 stairs or some stuff or some shit altogether. But it was really crazy, man. It was a cool experience, and I'll definitely never forget it for sure. But we got to do that on our off day while we were out there. So that was really awesome.
What about that experience makes it so you'll never forget it? Like what was special to you?
Well, like first off, just getting to do something like that, like as a band, as a whole band.
Yeah.
Like, everyone in the band and crew, we're gonna go explore this fucking mountain. And there's a lot of like, you can look into it or whatever. There's a lot of like myths and stuff like that about Mount Shasta.
Okay.
Like, about like portals opening up and lizard people living underneath it, and like all kinds of like
the good stuff,
wild stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah, super wild, like the folklore kind of stories and stuff, and conspiracies and stuff that there's a lot of stuff to dig into, which is why Icer wanted to go so bad. But no, it was, and just once you got in there, man, just like seeing something of like that size and like you're literally walking like inside the earth, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was just super crazy, you know what I mean? Like to see and to
That's
be
awesome.
there and everything. So and we had a blast, man. It was really awesome. We took some cool pictures. We had a fun like touristy day, which was not something that we normally get to do.
Yeah.
Because tons of people are always like, "Oh, you go out, you tour the whole world, you get to see everything," blah blah blah. And it's like,
nope.
Yeah, dude, I get to see a dirty alley in every city in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And the
I
inside
get to see the inside of a green room.
in a van or a bus and
right.
see the world pass by from there. Yeah.
Right. So I mean
100%.
like occasionally you get to go do something cool, but it takes effort to be able to on everyone's part to be able to make something like that happen, especially if you don't have days off or whatever.
Yeah.
So the fact that we had 2 days, and we were able to do that, and then once we got down, we were on our way to San Diego for the next show, and once we got down there, we stopped in Oceanside, California, and we went out to the beach to see the Pacific Ocean and stuff like that. And we just kind of goofed around for a couple days in California, which was nice. You don't get to do that a lot when you do what we do.
Yeah.
So, and there was some really good shows on the tour. We got to play Houston, Ron's hometown, the day before his birthday.
So, that's so
cool. When we played, everybody in Houston calls him Captain Ron.
Hell yeah.
I don't know the origins of that or whatever, but if you talk to anybody in Houston, they know him as Captain Ron. And the crowd was chanting Captain Ron, like when we announced that it was his birthday and whatever. So that was pretty sick. I think I was more stoked about it than he was even. This is crazy.
That's special. So, that's really cool.
So that was really awesome. We had a lot of really good shows, on the end of the tour, and then ending it in at Diesel was a blast. I don't know if you know about the bag of salad that ended up on stage.
No.
So this went on the whole tour. All right, this is the dumbest touring band shit ever. When you're just deliriously tired and stuff that's not funny is funny. Cameron and Ron went to the grocery store, and Cameron's like, "Hey man, what are we getting?" And Ron just said salad, and Cameron lost his mind, just dying laughing. And so just the word salad became hilarious the entire rest of the tour for everyone. And a couple nights later, or maybe a week later, we're in Austin, Texas, big show, there's a lot of people there. And Cameron, in between songs, gets Ron's attention. He leans over, and into his snare mic, he just says salad. And Ron just starts dying on stage. And so it was building, dude. Our group chat, people would take pictures of salad when we go into the truck stop and just send it to group chat.
Oh my God.
And there was no backstory of why this was even funny. It was just funny. And so the last day of tour, because Cameron could not stop saying salad, I pulled the biggest dad joke I could think of, and I had the promoter Aaron. I texted him and I said, "Dude, I need you to pick me up a bag of pre-mixed salad for the show." And he's like, "What are you gonna do?" Because he just thought we were gonna do something fucked up. And I was like, "Dude, just bring the salad, man." And he did. He brought it, and I went to his car to get it because Cameron couldn't know, and snuck it back onto the bus and hid it in my bunk during all of sound check, everything. And I knew that he would just cover his drum set up and he wouldn't be back up there till it was time to play. So after he sound checked, he covered all his shit up. I waited till he was distracted off talking to people, And I snuck up there on his drums and put the salad on his snare drum. So when he got up there,
wait. Describe that more. What do you mean you put the? Did you?
Oh, just a bag of salad. Like I didn't want to like
put it. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't want it to be like wet and be like sitting on his drums for hours or whatever. Like
that's fair. That's
and I didn't want Diesel to get pissed because there was like lettuce all over their whole fucking stage. So I because they're like one of the venues that like won't let us spray blood.
Yeah.
Stuff like that because that carpet's not stained enough.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
Whatever. So we it is what it is, but I snuck up there and I lifted up the cover and I just put the bag of salad on the snare and I got out of there and he didn't catch me. So like I did notice that there was a pair of drumsticks up there and I was like, shit, he's gonna come get these to like warm up or something. But he had his different sticks to warm up. He has like heavier sticks that he warms up with. So he never went and got them. So we're going on stage and he lifts everything up and he's like tightening cymbals. He still has not looked at his snare. And like at the very last second, he looks down right as he's about to sit down. He goes, "There's a fucking salad on my drum set." And we just lost it. And if you look at the band photo from that show, like with the crowd, Brandon's holding the bag of salad like a band. Like it's like in the middle with the group shot.
It's the one at Diesel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm in that picture.
Yeah, you for sure are. But there's a bag of salad like dead center that Brandon's holding.
Oh my god!
And it was just totally like the stupidest inside joke that we could think of.
That is hilarious.
And then we did the Undead Swarm tour, and on all the all access passes that went out to the band, on the back of the all access pass, one of the zombies on the cover or on the artwork is holding a salad. Like Icer like snuck that in there. So it's good times, So that was pretty funny. Michigan Metal Fest, man. I mean, that was just so wet.
Oh man. I mean, that was a rough day. And I do feel for everyone involved because it was a situation where like,
yeah, I mean, what do you even do at that
point? There's nothing. It was about to like it's first of all, I thought the pandemic would have killed it. I didn't think it was ever going to come back after the pandemic, but then it does. And then the first year that it does, we get this freak day in the middle of fucking August.
Summer. Yeah.
Yeah. Middle of summer. And it's cold and unbelievably wet all day long. And the whole thing is outside.
So hard during our set.
So fucking hard, dude. So hard. Like it was insane. And it, it caused for the first year ever. This is only, I think, the fourth year for Michigan Metal Fest, and it would be the first time ever.
Normally it's like 80 degrees and you're just burning all day.
Dude, the last one was,
if I would have known it would have been like this, we would have made hoodies.
Yeah, like the last one I got fucking sunburnt at.
Oh yeah.
Like and in this one I came home someone was like, how was it? I was like, I've never been that wet in my entire life. Like that was insane.
We had stopped at a truck stop to kind of clean up and stuff afterwards when we left. And Icer, I had him cracking up in the bathroom because I was like, dude, I don't even like I washed my hands, but I was like, I don't even want to wash my hands because I don't even want to be wet anymore.
Yeah.
Like he's just stop. And
yeah, no, it was nuts, but like huge props and huge power to you guys and everyone else that still ended up playing that day, and everyone that was in the crowd, and that stuck it out.
Yeah.
That's
we had a blast. We invited a bunch of people to hang out under our merch tent and just chill and whatever. And a lot of us went and hid on the bus. It was parked right behind the stage. And
yeah, because that was an all new stage this year too. That's the other thing I was gonna say is like
yeah,
they had a whole new setup this year. It was
right,
gonna be
right.
bigger than ever.
It would have been
Like,
really cool. They did 3 stages for the first time, and
yeah,
yeah, it was gonna be awesome. And honestly, dude, like we still had a blast.
good. Good.
Um, and I will say I don't know what the end date of when it's going to be finished yet is, but we did work with Chevy Studios, uh, and they filmed high quality sound from the soundboard, like the full set at Michigan Metal Fest.
Oh, awesome.
So we have like a legit full live concert from Michigan Metal Fest. I've seen it. It looks awesome. They're just fixing the sound
Oh man.
right now.
Oh,
I mean,
that's great.
it's not like the sound's not bad. Everything's there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it needs mixed
Fair enough.
because it was like dry, just direct from the soundboard sound.
Yeah.
So like the keyboard tracks are really loud, the vocals are really loud, the guitars are low, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But they have all the individual tracks, and they can fix it and mix it
Yeah.
up, whatever. So as soon as that's done, we'll put it out. But
That's
yeah,
great.
the full set. People had a lot of fun with our mask jumpsuit friends, with all the blood and the body parts and everything. That was a blast as always. Got some really cool pictures of those guys. And yeah, it was just super wet, and we ran into, for Toledo Death Fest, we ran into weather problems for that as well.
Or wasn't that inside?
Well, the main stage was inside, and we used the outdoor patio stage for the second stage.
Oh shit.
So what happened was I wake up the morning of Death Fest with no plans for it to be raining, with no plans for whatever, and there's just this pop-up storm that's gonna hit at like 2:30, 3 p.m., like right as bands are starting to play. That was just gonna downpour and hail and everything. And I'm like, what am I gonna do? I have a whole band or a whole list of bands playing the second stage. So that room with the pool tables next to the outdoor patio.
Yeah. Yep.
We spent the morning during Loaded moving all that stuff out of that room. We cleared that whole room, and we set up like a floor show second stage in that room.
Oh.
And which was not the ideal situation, obviously, but it was going to work. You know what I mean? We're like, hell yeah, we got this. We figured it out. It's all going to be inside. And Death Hex was the first band to go on, and they played that stage, and they crushed it. And dude, even at doors, that entire room was full.
Like, oh my god,
it's a small room.
It is small, but
you know
still,
what I mean? Like
but for that to be full,
realistically 100 people.
But for exactly. But for it to be full at doors.
Oh yeah, that room was packed. And then Full Strike Frenzy played in the main room. And then it was supposed to be Ignominious playing second stage. And as soon as their guitar player plugged in and started playing, the whole PA cut off. Fuck. And we're like, what's going on? You know, so the sound guys are trying everything they can, because Main Street doesn't have like house sound. You have to hire people to come in and sound there. So the side stage is like down, and it's like the time slot for the side stage. And Ignominious is all set up. They're mic'd up. They're like, we're about to start playing. And the room's packed. So we're trying to figure out what's going on. Why is it tripping? It was tripping the Furman, not allowing the PA to continue to work. So we tried running power outside. We tried running power to other rooms in the venue. We tried different breakers. We tried everything we possibly could, and it would work. And we finally thought that we had it. And they started playing, and like 30 seconds into their first song, the power amps blew in the PA. God. So it was, the PA company was like, we're just pulling our shit out of here. We're done. And I still had 5 bands that were supposed to play over there. Ignominious was supposed to play over there, obviously. Filth Spewer.
Yep.
Squid Hammer. War. and Gorgatron. All those bands were supposed to play over there. And by the time that all of that blew, and by the time that it was all, it is what it is, we were so far behind because we kept talking to the sound people and they kept telling us that, oh, it's going to get up and running. We're getting this figured out. There's more sound gear on the way, that kind of stuff. So we didn't start moving bands over to the main stage, and we didn't change any of the main stage time slots. Because, I figured we'll just overlap some bands. We're going to have to, and we'll catch up. Because now we don't have the curfew issue that we did before of them being outside, because now we're inside. Right. So we can run that stage later. So we're just we're just going to keep it going over there as soon as we get it up and running. Ignominious will go, and we'll just start running that stage as soon as you're done, change over and go. And keep doing that. And when that happened, Matriarchs had already played main stage. Couple other bands had gone through. Cerebral had already played. Casket Robbery was getting ready to play. And it came down to the only solution here is to have everybody play, is to get those bands on main stage somehow. But Malevolent Creation, I can't move their slot. It's under contract, this is when they're playing.
Oh.
So, and they're not going on at 2 a.m, so a bunch of other bands can play. So they're just all I can do is say, okay, Bill's going to play, Falsifier's going to play, we're going to play, Malevolent's going to play, and then all these second stage bands are going to play after Malevolent.
Right.
On the main stage.
Yeah.
So Filth cut a song or two, Falsifier cut a song or two, we cut a song or two, Malevolent cut some time out just to kind of keep it earlier, and we were trying to do changeovers as fast as we could. And Phil Spewer ended up, they weren't going to be able to stay that late, so they ended up not playing at all. But all of the remaining bands that were on side stage did play after Malevolent on main stage.
God damn.
And, we were plugging it all night. I was jumping up in between bands yo, everybody stick around after Malevolent Creation because we got the after party, all the second stage bands, the PA Blue, they're still going to play. They're going to play shorter sets, and they're going to play over here. And, dude, we were jamming. I think Squid Hammer finished at almost 2 a.m.
Wow.
Wow. But it was a blast, dude. It was a giant party. We had almost 600 people through the door.
I was gonna say, it looked amazing.
Yeah, it was packed for sure, and it was a great time aside from the rain and the PA issues. But we did what we could to resolve everything for everyone and all that. So kept it moving, got everybody on stage still. We had a blast at that show. And then we did Rust Fest, which we were happy to spray blood in Sanctuary. And that was a giant mess, as you can imagine.
Yes, definitely.
But that was a really stacked lineup and a fun show. And,
yeah.
Summit Fest out in Akron was a blast. We ended up sticking around pretty late, partying with the Unearthed dudes. And it was just, a great end to the run, and then to come back out, you might have seen Toby is having his kid.
Yeah. Yep.
And he was scared that if he went on these last 3 dates, because it was so close to the due date, he's like, dude, I know we're going to get up into the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, where I have no way to get home, and it's going to happen. You know what I mean? So,
he's got experience, in fairness.
So we so Toby stayed home from those 3 dates, and we got Jonathan from Forces, the old guitar player from Forces.
That's right. Yeah.
Played guitar for us for those 3 shows. And he's doing vocals for Scapegoat, I think, now.
Oh, wow. All right.
I didn't know until he said something.
Yeah.
But yeah, he came out and he crushed it for those 3 shows with us. It was a blast having him out. So yeah, I mean, that was the main part of the tour. I mean, those are the most memorable moments, I guess. I know there was a lot of them, but
I mean, there's definitely never a dull moment with you guys. Like
it's
that's
always something crazy, dude.
always
Always.
something. Always something.
Mm-hmm.
And then after all those shows, well, I mean, yeah, after all those shows, you released the a new video.
Yeah.
Just what, like last week, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I think it was
like
a week ago yesterday.
Week ago yesterday. Where you released the 79 years music video. And that's the second single after Undead Storm off the upcoming yet to be named release.
Yes.
And it, dude, I mean, between both of those songs, like, holy shit. But now, in fairness, Undead Swarm was just like was a really great one, but a lyric video. This one was a full-on music video, and it was filmed, like, as I know, quite a while ago.
Well, it was filmed over the course of well over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the world famous Penhurst Asylum in Pennsylvania, which is notoriously extremely haunted, if you believe in that sort of thing. And I mean, you guys just dropped this video, and it really blew me away, man. Like, it really, like, I thought it was an absolutely incredible video, and I did not know that going into it that you were going to use and intercut like the footage. What was the, like, what was that footage, like that documentary?
The footage was Suffer the Little Children, the documentary by Bill Baldini at NBC 10 Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And that documentary was a large part in shutting Penhurst down.
Yeah.
So we filmed a lot of stuff on a GoPro inside Penhurst Asylum while we were there in August 2021.
Like,
that's the grainier footage, the darker footage that's in, like, stuff like that. The hallways that almost looks like it's got a filter on it because it's like really fucked looking. That was actually shot in Penhurst at like 2 a.m. with a GoPro by us.
Wow.
All that footage. So, and like there's the one where there's like the broken gurney and all the windows behind me, and I'm singing, that's inside Penhurst.
That's incredible.
So, because we were on like the paranormal investigation,
right?
And every once in a while, like me, Ron, and Icer, like literally the lighting for those shots was like Icer's holding a cell phone, Ron's got the GoPro, he's got like his flashlight on the cell phone, and I'm just like, all right, let's do this here real quick. And we'd like kind of go off, and we would literally be playing the song on my phone, like out of frame on the floor or something. With that, I had just finished recording vocals for 2 days prior.
Jesus Christ!
Because I flew back from Florida from doing vocals, and later that same day that I got back, I got on the bus to go to Penhurst.
Wow.
So we're doing this super like DIY, like super shitty, you know what I mean? Obviously the lighting in Penhurst, we recorded some of the stuff in like the tunnels and stuff like that. And when we went through all the footage, there was some, you know, a good portion was usable, but there wasn't enough to put a whole video together. You know what I mean? There wasn't enough usable footage that wasn't just going to be like confusing and dark and weird. You know, we wanted to really give people the feeling of this place.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the walking down hallways, you know, some of the darker shots of vocals and stuff where I'm standing up, any shots of vocals where I'm standing up are inside Penhurst. Like in the middle of the night, in the underground tunnels, in the buildings that people lived in. we were there.
That's
and I even have a clip. If I can find it on my computer, I'll send it to you. Where after we recorded one of them, we asked the spirit box if they liked the song we were playing, and they responded with sure, like right away.
holy shit.
So, you know, it even got kind of an from some ghosts, but it was, you know, so we filmed a lot of that in there, and we wanted to make the whole video from Penhurst, but just with COVID and travel stuff and whatever, so much stuff went wrong that all we had to film this whole video on at Penhurst was this GoPro and like cell phones. So that's why some of the footage in the video is like not as good as some of the other footage in the video. I guess it's like darker or whatever. I know Nate did a lot of like editing and like color correction to it to kind of make it fit. But yeah, anything where I'm standing up, any of the hallway shots or like the broken windows or gurneys and stuff, that's actually inside Penhurst.
Yeah, and I was gonna give a huge shout out to Nate because he's the one that filmed this, right?
Well, he did not go to Penhurst with us.
Oh,
we filmed it ourselves, like literally in the building. GoPro, somebody hold the cell phone light up. We're gonna play the song on this cell phone. Keith headbang and do all the lyrics in this weird room real quick. Okay, turn it off. Let's catch back up with the group. So it was like literally like that.
So Nate kind of filled in the gaps and made those shots look better.
So he edited some of those shots that we had, the raw footage that we had. And then I told him that there was a shot that I really wanted to get at Penhurst. And it's like kind of a fucked up shot. I don't know why I was so obsessed with I have to get this shot. But there's a story of Dr. Fear, who is at the end of the video, kind of bragging about drugging patients. That if you misbehaved at Penhurst, they would take you to a dentist chair in the basement and pull out all your teeth without anesthetic. Mm-hmm. And I really wanted to sit in that dentist chair and get my teeth ripped out in the video. Like the real chair. But that when we got to Penhurst, they wouldn't let us go there. Like there were certain places that we weren't allowed to go there. And that was one of the restricted areas that they wouldn't let us go to. So I was like, I really wanted to do that. Like that would have really brought the true horror of this place out. So I'd been brainstorming for literally almost a year of how are we going to make this video? Like we have shots from Penhurst. We have me doing the vocals at Penhurst, but we don't have what we want necessarily, like totally. So I was brainstorming, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to call Nate and I'm going to see if we can recreate this scene, but somewhere else. And so we filmed the rest of the video at the also very haunted Collingwood Arts Center in Toledo, Ohio.
I actually heard of this place, yeah.
In the basement, where people see demons sitting on the stairs and shadows and all kinds of stuff. And most of our lighting that we usually use, the geysers, the fog machines, the lighting rigs and stuff that we would normally use for something like this, were, because this video was kind of unplanned, we filmed it right before the Undead Swarm tour. So we filmed it very last minute.
Oh, wow.
And all of that stuff was in the bus in Willis, Texas. So I couldn't get any of that stuff. Ron mailed me the jumpsuits and the masks from the bus.
Oh, shit. Wow.
They showed up like one day before we were supposed to shoot.
Oh, my God.
So we went in there, and if you've seen our merch setup live, like Icer will change the colors of the lights or make them do weird stuff or whatever to just kind of draw attention over the table. So we have these lights that change color. That's the merch lights are what we use to light that video.
Oh, no shit.
So like the red and green lights in that room and everything, those are literally our merch lights.
Oh, wow.
The dental tools that we used, we found a lunch tray in the basement of Collingwood Arts Center. That's the tray that's in the video. That chair that we used is from a room that nuns used to live in. The vintage dental tools belong to Icer's dad. The belts I was tied down with are literally Icer's old belts.
What the fuck?
So this was a super DIY like thought here, and I wrote out all the scenes the way I wanted them to go, and we need to shoot this, we need to shoot this, we need to shoot this. And I called Nate and I said, here's my idea. Do you want to do this? Like, can we do this on a budget? You know, we're getting ready for tour, we're broke as shit. Like, I have this footage from Penhurst. This is what I want to do with this video. And he was like, yeah, dude, that sounds awesome. You know, like, I'll do it. Cool. So we got our buddy Andrew, Brittany, and Icer. And those are the three masked people.
No way.
And Nate was there with just one camera. We used the merch lights to light stuff up. We used stuff that was around Collingwood, stuff we brought with us. This whole video, everything we used for the video, we brought in one merch bin to the video shoot.
It's not a good day to be a bad guy.
What's up, metalheads? This is Wayne.
And Michelle.
And we are from the Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounters podcast. And you are listening to
Burton and Aaron on the Lost in the Dark podcast.
Raise your horns.
Oh my God.
It was super DIY. And we just kind of went like down literally a checklist that I made of what scenes we wanted to get. And like kind of, you know, I kind of mapped it out, and then Nate directed the scenes and filmed the scenes. And then when we got done, we were really happy with the way everything looked. I told him, I was like, hey man, it looks like we're allowed to use this documentary. Because since it was up like on the news and everything, I did a lot of research and it was public domain to use. So I was like, let's cut some sections out of this real shit,
dude,
and put it in the video. And he's like, all right, down. I sent him the link to the video. I'm like, just the weirdest shit you can find, just cut it, put it in there.
And Nate did all that?
The cutting of the documentary and stuff?
Yeah.
He did the editing of the video.
Yeah.
So I sent him the Penhurst footage. I sent him the documentary with a couple notes of like what we were looking for. I made the checklist of the scenes that we wanted and what we wanted to create as far as when we were at Collingwood, and got it all set up with Collingwood to be able to do that there. Because you can't just like walk in there. You have to get like permission and everything. And kind of told him the way we wanted this put together. And he did, you know, he mixed it together super, super well. The explanation of the video at the beginning, I wrote and sent it over to him. Was like, we need to add this at the beginning of the video. And we had the credits ended, you know, at the end and everything, and it just came together really, really well. And really, I think got the point across of what we were trying to do. So,
yeah,
very DIY, very low budget.
Wow. That's a really incredible story, actually.
Yeah, that whole video was shot on one camera and one GoPro.
And huge fucking shout out to Nate Thompson, again, the creator of Cult Affairs, which is his upcoming horror film.
I did just talk to him.
Oh my God.
I know everybody's waiting to see when that's going to come out.
Oh yeah.
Shooting was delayed for a long time.
Oh, okay.
Which is why it's not done. And as you know, he's also extremely busy with all of his other movies with his,
yeah.
He's building these museums of horror around Michigan.
Yep.
which is killer. But we talked the other day, and they are set to start filming again very soon. So hopefully, usually he does movies pretty quick. So hopefully, it will be done soon. And me and him have already started bouncing some ideas on a collaboration for the release.
Oh,
So I'm sure we can put together something cool.
yes.
Whether it ends up being in Monroe or it ends up being in Toledo or whatever, I would imagine those are probably the most likely spots because we've both thrown movie theater releases in each city. So I'm sure we can pull something cool off. But there's a lot of brainstorming to do. He's still got to finish the movie. You know, we did our parts.
Yep.
So, yeah, I would imagine it won't be too long.
Excellent. That's good to hear. I do really look forward. To seeing that.
Oh, you and me both.
And hell yeah. And I mean his work on the new video, 79 Years, was just like, that's one of the things that really came through to me heavily on that video, was just how beautiful the shots were. Like anytime it was like close up on your face in all the corpse paint and stuff, like you could see every beat of sweat.
Oh yeah.
Like it just looked so fucking good. And then like the very beginning where you're like just like where you just have an outrage, like an almost unrealistic amount of blood coming out of your mouth.
Oh yeah.
It's just pouring, dude.
It was so funny because like I'm strapped to the chair. Okay, we had to do some of these shots a couple times. So I'm like strapped to the chair, so I can't move my hands. So people are having to, like, in between shots, come over and just fill my mouth up with blood.
Oh
so
my
like
God.
I'm sitting there like mouth full of blood, and the song would start, and that was like right when I started singing, it would just be like, like
oh my God.
every time. And then like that shot, that was like full mouth of blood, and it was in the video. It looks like so much more than I thought it was.
Insane.
It was like,
it is insane.
I got up from the chair, and like in an outline of where I was sitting, the whole chair was just covered in blood.
I loved that there was that there was like that's fucking insane. I love that there was like a kind of like a narrative though, to where like in the video literally starts off, the first time we see you, massive amounts of blood is pouring out of your mouth, and then by the end of the video we realize that you're getting tortured.
Yeah, there's actually he like pulls one of my teeth out with pliers.
Yeah.
And the teeth that are in the video are real human teeth.
What? How did you fucking do that?
Brittany still had her wisdom teeth from when they got pulled.
Oh my
God.
God.
We used real human teeth.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was.
That is so awesome.
It was great.
Oh my God.
We try to be as authentic as we can.
To another level. So is there any one thing definitely that comes through a lot in that video are the masks that the torturers are wearing. Is there any like story behind those masks? Because I also noticed that you guys, the people that you have spray blood in live shows sometimes wear them.
Yeah. So coming into this year, we wanted to keep spraying blood, and we wanted to like step it up a little bit, and we're going to continue to step it up until it's at a just stupid level.
Guar level.
Yes. Yeah, like we want to get there and maybe even beyond at some point. So we every year we try to build something new. We try to think of something else that we can do during our live show to make it a show.
Yeah.
And we don't like going to the same city over and over and having the same show.
Fair.
we switch up the songs we play, we switch up the merch we use, maybe we'll change the banners, maybe we'll build a new prop, maybe we'll have something just new. And one of the biggest things I wanted to change going into this year was when we'd have people come up and spray blood, I thought it was a bit lame that they would just be wearing normal street clothes and it's like this regular just like dude up there with a squirt gun. Like, I thought that was lame. I thought we could do that better. So we had Ron print the Convalescence jumpsuits. And we printed them big so they'd fit over anybody's clothes. So now you're in this jumpsuit. And those masks, I mean, you can order those masks off Amazon.
Yeah, I was going to say that it seemed like fairly common.
Halloween. It's very commonly used.
Yeah.
But they look cool.
They do.
And it completely hides between the jumpsuit and that mask. Nobody ever knows who's up there.
100%.
Even if they've been talking to that person all night.
Yep.
So we went with those masks because I like the idea that they light up and they're a little like, creepy looking.
Yeah.
And they're also cheap. Okay, so like the reason I went with something cheap and that was easy to get is because we don't have crew that tours with us that does this.
Right.
We pick new people every city. And you never know how many drinks they've had. You never know if they're gonna run into something or drop the mask or rip the cord or whatever. And we needed something that we could easily replace within a day or two without it costing us a ton of money. So instead of getting these custom masks that looked really awesome, so a drunk person could come by and break it, and then we got to pay, however much to get another one made, and it could be months or whatever. We went with something cheap that if it breaks, it's whatever, order another one. We have a stack of them in the bus. Like, for when they break, we got another one. It just the practicality of us understanding that we can't have nice things. Like, is really what it comes down to, is this band can't have nice things. And those masks are not super durable. Each one will last like a few shows before it's like toast.
Fair enough.
Like, I would say like 5 to 8 shows and it's probably toast.
What is is the let up feature powered by like watch batteries or something?
It's like 2 AA batteries.
Oh, AA. All right.
On a clip.
That's at least that's at least not as expensive as a little watch.
So we got like a pocket in the jumpsuit. So the cord goes behind their ear, down into the back of the jumpsuit.
Okay.
And like around and into that pocket. So they can click it and like light it up.
Oh, okay.
But the cord's not just like flapping around where they can get caught on them doing stuff or whatever.
Right.
So we wanted to make it this weird thing, like, whoa, what's going on? Who are these people? And then all of a sudden you're just getting lit up with blood.
Yeah.
Versus like, who's this guy? Oh shit, he's making a mess.
Right. Yeah.
We wanted to make it more of a show.
And I think you definitely pulled that off. So, that is a really cool feature.
So originally, when we were doing the video, the thought was that we were going to get a doctor's coat, like a lab coat kind of thing.
Yeah.
For Andrew, the doctor, the teeth puller.
Mm-hmm.
And we were going to get scrubs for the other two.
Mm-hmm.
And make it like a straight up like Penhurst scene. But I'm like, I'm going to be in makeup and everything. And it's not going to be very T-Con to have just regular like people doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would make it more us? And it's like, okay, we're going to put the 2 people that we've been using live in these jumpsuits. And this is going to connect our live show to this video. And we're going to put
that's brilliant.
The 2 like nurses in the regular green masks that everybody's been wearing, in the jumpsuits that you see live. They're literally the same jumpsuits we use live.
Yep.
And we're going to let the doctor, we ordered an orange mask so that he would be different than the others.
Okay.
As like the main guy.
Okay.
And we had him wear like a button-up dress shirt versus a jumpsuit. So he would like look a little nicer, like a little bit more official, I guess. And that was the thought process, was we're going to make this more like Penhurst, but the Convalescence.
Sure. Yeah.
And we use that to like tie everything together kind of. So now when we do stuff live, whoever has the big gun, like we have a super soaker that holds like half a gallon.
God damn.
And it shoots like 50 feet. Whoever has that gets the orange mask.
Okay.
And the other ones with the smaller guns get the green mask.
Okay.
So we've been kind of building this whole thing like as we go, I guess, but it's turning into something cool, and like it just like sparks more ideas constantly to do stuff. And we have some plans for the new album cycle that is just going to be unreal for a band our size.
Fuck yeah.
So I'm excited, and I will not play more shows. Like for the release of the album, I will not do that release tour without what is in my head. So it's going to be cool.
Oh shit. That's huge. That's a huge thing. That's awesome.
It will be awesome.
And like, and again, the next, like we have 2 singles, one lyric video, one full-on music video, and the actual album name and release date and all that stuff has not been announced yet. Yeah. But you're in this is unusual for the Convalescence. You're on quite a bit of a large break for you guys right now, outside of a world of pandemic. You're on like almost like a 2-month break, and then in late November you go on a massive fucking European tour.
Yeah.
Coming up. You go on a fucking massive European tour with fucking Carnifex headlining, Chelsea Grin, Body Snatcher, and Varials?
Yes, Varials.
Yeah. Varials. And you guys, and it starts on November 27th. And where all told, because I also know the one thing that stuck out to me when I looked at where you guys are all going and everything was my birthday is November 30th. Yeah. And on November 30th, you guys are playing Stockholm.
Yes.
Which is, of course, where Children of Bodom filmed their great fucking live performance live at Stockholm. Stockholm Knockout Punch. So I was like, oh my God, they're playing Stockholm on my birthday. And like that made me feel very happy.
This tour has actually been rescheduled twice now.
Yes, it has. Yes.
It's supposed to be 2020 original.
Yep. And so like, are you, and of course I know that you guys have played this part of Europe before, and the UK and EU and all that stuff. But are you going anywhere new? Is there anything
we're
specifically
going to a lot of new?
Really? Okay.
I think on this whole tour, we've only played one of these venues before.
Oh, well, but I mean, like one of these, like countries or.
Well, I mean, like a lot of. Okay, so we've never been to the UK ever.
Oh, really?
So this is our first ever run of the UK.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
And to have multiple of those dates already sold out is killer.
Tons. Like you actually, like it's 2 months before the fucking show starts, and you already have like a handful of dates sold out. It's insane.
Well, I know Manchester, UK was sold out before we rescheduled last time. And when they rescheduled the tour, they booked the same venue again the next day because it was already sold out the first day.
Of course, yeah.
So the same tour is playing there the next day as well.
And that's what's happening this year.
Yeah, that's
oh my god. Oh my god.
So
dude, that's huge, dude. That's awesome.
So yeah, like I mean, I'll pull this out and let me see if I can bring up the dates real quick.
Yeah, definitely. And for anybody watching this right now, links to all of this in the description below, as always, of course.
Okay, yeah. So Germany we've been to before. Netherlands we've been to before. This will be our first time ever in Sweden. This is our first time ever in Denmark, our first time ever in Poland. We've done Czech Republic before. This is our first time to the UK. So, and it actually ends at a venue that we played on the last tour we were in Europe.
Oh, no way.
Which is awesome.
Where is that one?
Munich.
Oh, Germany. All right.
Yeah. So.
Oh man.
And it's actually a venue that has some like good memories. Like the show was a blast. The show was completely packed with 6 feet under over there.
Oh wow.
And we were hanging out in the morning because you go load in, you do your stuff, and then you go kind of fuck off for a few hours.
Sure. Yeah.
So we're like walking around just seeing what's around the venue kind of thing. And we see this big Oakley Dokley poster that they were coming to Munich. And we're like, oh, that's cool, dude. And then we realized they're here today.
What?
Like the same day we were, but they were playing like another room of the venue. Like the venue has like 4 venues within the venue.
Okay.
Like it's like 4 separate venues, but they're all called backstage. They're just like different rooms.
Okay.
Kind of like Diesel has 2 rooms,
Right. Yeah. I was gonna say there's a lot of places.
This one's like a big complex and it has like 4.
Okay.
And we were playing like the main room, and then like the room over from us was Oakley Dokley. And I had met them when they came through Toledo with Max Sabbath, and got them a little drunk, and may have shared some herbs, and
snoochie boochies.
Yeah. So so I was like, no way, I don't even know if they know we're here. So after we played, they were playing over in the other room, and we went in there, and security was like, oh, you guys got those passes. Like we were headlining the like sold out big main room that they had there. So they were just kind of like, go wherever you want, basically, like do whatever you want everywhere. So it was like the Wayne's World, like hold your pass up. And it was, oh, come on. And we watched like half their set from behind their merch table.
Okay.
And then we went like, they let us walk like behind the bar, and they like handed us a bunch of beers on our way by.
Oh, wow.
And we went to their green room. And when they got off stage, they like came off stage and we're like, what's up, dude? And they're just like, how are you here? Like, because they remembered me from Toledo.
Oh,
how are you here in Germany right now? It's like, well, we're on tour 6 feet under. And so we had some beers with like a whole bunch of Ned Flanders in Germany.
Oh my God.
There's a picture of like Jacob from Psycho Tribe and me, Toby, and Chuck, and everybody from Oakley Dokley on stage in Germany over there.
That's amazing.
Like, partying it up. So that same venue is where this tour ends.
Oh, wow.
So that's pretty cool.
Wow.
But I've always wanted to play the UK, man. I've always wanted to play Birmingham and London.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say you're playing all of it.
Yeah, we're playing everywhere, man. Like some really nice venues. And I mean,
really nice. Really nice.
There's already 4 shows on the tour that are sold out.
Yeah, I was gonna say really nice with an incredible lineup, and some of them are already sold out, and the shit doesn't even start for 2 months.
Right, and
like,
they just rebranded the tour with the new flyer and everything, and it's Carnifex playing "Dead in My Arms" cover to cover, and
what?
And then Chelsea Grin's playing their self-titled EP cover to cover as well.
Oh my God,
And
dude. Oh, dude. Every it's
we're
2
playing
months. Yeah, what?
we're playing 79 Years and Undead Swarm and another song that won't even be out by then. So like literally half our set over there is off the new album.
Oh shit,
And
dude.
I know Body Snatcher's got a new album coming out. I know Burials has a new album coming out. So this tour is just a monster at this point.
Dude,
So
yeah.
it's gonna be killer.
The whole fucking thing is gonna be sold out before probably
I hope so.
you even get over there. It's gonna be nuts.
Because to be real, man, I mean, like the plane tickets to get over there during the holiday times.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
it is
like so expensive.
It's like literally 2 days or 3 days after Thanksgiving that
Right.
you have to get your first show.
So, which means we're probably gonna have to fly out of the U.S. like on Black Friday.
Oh shit!
So that's gonna be a whole ass thing. And then,
oh God!
in like on previous tours, like the agencies that we've worked with and whatever in the past, it's been like they kind of take care of like the vehicles and the crew and the this and the that, and we just send them like this much money to cover all that. Yeah. This tour, we didn't have to send them shit, but we have to rent a vehicle and hire a driver. We have to pitch in on the backline gear. We have to get our merch there. We have to, cover our flights. We have to like all the stuff that's normally just kind of like, that makes it way easier that it's taken care of. Now we're talking to drivers and stuff in like the Czech Republic, and we're like trying to do all this stuff from over here. And right now there's a lot going on in Europe. So it makes it even like more difficult to kind of like navigate this. Like, is this going to be able to happen? I think so, but it's also crazy. Like, so, I'm really looking forward to the tour. It's been such like a tease for the last few years. Going, oh, you got this massive European tour.
Yeah.
Just kidding. It's rescheduled. Yeah. Just kidding. It's rescheduled. Yeah. And now it's finally like, it's time. So the reason we have that long break is so we can plan everything, so we can get the money together for everything. Right now, even we're selling raffle tickets to win Cameron's kick drum head.
Huge. It's signed by all of you and has a laminate with it.
The laminate is actually covering a hole that's punched in the kick drum.
No way, really?
It got busted during Toledo Death Fest, actually by Malevolent Creation. So there's that kick drum head's seen some things.
That's history.
Yeah. It would be very cool to have if you're a big fan.
Yeah.
Those laminates you can't get unless you're in our band or crew.
Yep.
And that's his laminate from the tour.
Whose?
Cameron's. He wore around his neck the whole tour. And so it's very cool. And he's doing it to raise some money to help. I know a lot of people saw the post. The bus broke down on the way back to Texas.
And now that is something I did want to bring up was so like I feel like you did a whole summer of touring. You had all these festivals and everything. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this was the first time you used the Green Machine. No,
we used it last year.
You did use it last year.
For the 10-year tour, yeah.
And so, but I kind of feel like this is the first time it's really broken down in a big bad way.
In a big bad way, yes. I mean, we've had little problems here and there that we've been able to, fix relatively cheaply and quickly and whatever. And we've kept up on the maintenance and everything. What happened on this one was the bearing that holds like the fan on the engine together broke.
Yes.
And the fan tilted forward while it was still running, and it cut a belt and it cut a big gash into our radiator.
Oh, fuck.
And they happen to be right in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, God.
That happened. So you're not exactly in the greatest hands here as far as like parts being available or them wanting to work on the school bus.
Anything being available at all.
Anything, really. Yeah. So they actually just finally got home from the tour that ended September 11th, like 2 days ago.
I was gonna say I saw.
And a lot of people donated a lot.
Yep.
But it also put us in a massive hole for Europe. All together with the bus repairs, the travel to get parts, the hotel to keep them there, everything all around together was like almost $7,000.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So that's, as you can imagine, that's enough to pay for all of our plane tickets to Europe and back.
Yep.
So we're starting from scratch with $0 basically right now. And we have no shows prior to Europe. So it puts us in a tough spot. But what Cameron is doing is selling raffle tickets for somebody to win this thing.
And it's a good thing to win.
And yeah,
it's history.
And the money is going to go towards the people we borrowed some money from for those repairs and towards getting us over the Atlantic Ocean.
Yep.
So good cause with the raffle tickets. We're selling them for $6.66 each.
Oh, sick.
And, so whoever wins it's gonna get something really cool.
When does that raffle end?
Sunday. This Sunday.
Oh shit.
So this episode might not be out.
Yeah, this will probably be out after that.
But it comes out Sunday at, I believe, noon.
Okay.
I'm gonna go on Facebook Live and draw a winner.
Oh, awesome.
So
awesome.
all the way up until probably about 10 minutes before the drawing, you'll be able to get raffle tickets to win.
Right.
And we've gotten a lot so far. So
good. Hopefully
that continues over the next couple of days, and somebody's going to get a real cool thing. So
yeah.
That's where we're at right now. We're getting ready for Europe, and we have some big plans for the States next year as well. Just nothing necessarily like set in stone, nothing ready to announce.
Right. Right.
But we're definitely talking about doing some cool stuff with some cool bands.
Oh, I know you are. Yeah.
But the full US will see us next year. Europe will be seeing us more next year. Some other places that maybe have never seen us will get to see us next year. So we have plans. It's just we're trying to get Europe out of the way first.
No. Yeah, always just focus what's right in front of you.
There is another single coming out prior to the album. The video for which has been being worked on for several months already and will continue to be worked on for several months.
So prior to the album, but do you think that would come out before the end of the year?
Doubtful.
Okay.
And
okay.
I think it'll come out in probably January.
Okay.
Realistically.
Okay.
Because when we release a song, we put like a lot of money into ads, and we hire PR people to make sure that we're out there, and we put a lot into each release. And this one, the budget for this video is much higher than what we normally spend. It's a much longer, much more detailed process. And there's a really big name guest vocalist on this as well. So we want to do it justice, and we want to make sure that this song is like everywhere, and that everything we do along with it is the shit, So we're not trying to rush it.
Yep.
And with paying off the remainder of that video and doing all the things we need to do to make Europe happen,
Yep.
we don't want to try to rush a single out and dump even more money or add more to our plate before we leave.
Yeah.
Because we're already kind of like pushing to be there.
100%.
So, but when we get back from the tour, that is the first priority, is to get that out. So we'll have a better idea on the date here in the next month or so. I'm sure the artwork for it's already done, the cover.
Awesome.
So I'm sure within the next month or two, I'm sure we'll put the artwork out with a release date.
Awesome.
But it's probably not coming out before we go to Europe.
Fair enough.
As I said, I think the last time we talked, we are completely independent at this point. So everything comes through us, and we, every dollar that goes out for this band is coming from us. So it's slowing down the process a bit from where we would like it to be. If it was up to me, if I didn't have to listen to our wallets, if it was up to me, the album would already be out. However,
I know it would.
However, we are not cutting corners on this. Yeah. We've been sitting on a finished full album, mixed and mastered with the artwork done since Christmas
of last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that everything on this goes the way we want it to and goes the way it should, and that we deliver the sickest album we possibly can to everybody in the coolest way we possibly can. So that's where we're at. That's why it's taking us so long.
But it is coming, and it is coming soon.
Yes. So realistically, I don't want to give like specific dates, but I would say
of course.
Sometime in January, everybody will probably see a third single from us.
Okay.
It is probably the heaviest, if not one of the heaviest on the album.
Oof.
And I would say sometime in the spring. I don't even want to give like a month.
Of course. No.
Yeah,
of course.
You'll see the full album. So there's one more single, and then we're gonna give everybody the whole album, which is 11 tracks.
Yeah. Oh.
So
would you? I think we talked about this last time. I can't remember what you said. Would you consider this one your longest album?
Track number wise, or like time wise?
Time wise.
No.
Fair enough.
I'll tell you right now, the whole 11 track album is 36 minutes long.
Okay. Fair enough.
It's a lot of 3 to 4 minute songs.
Fair enough.
But yes. They slam. We're really proud of this. Really proud of this record. Really happy to work with Jason Sukoff and Chris Donaldson on it. Really happy to work with the guys that came in and laid some brutal gurgles and whatnot down on some tracks with me. Stoked to have them as a part of it. And we have a lot of ideas for even more videos and stuff like that after the album comes out. We have a lot of ideas for things for the stage, and know who we're going to work with to make it happen. And I've already been in contact with these people. So there's a lot going on.
Oh man.
A lot going on, but we're taking our time. And it's going to be worth it when it's here.
Yes, it absolutely will. I know that I know for you, as the artist, it has to hurt to have to hold something back for this long.
Dude, I literally jam it in my car every day. So like driving around running errands and shit, like I'm jamming the new album that no one else gets to hear. So
so
I'm ready for it, man. I was excited to start playing Undead Swarm, which got a really great reception live.
Yes.
I am stoked to play 79 Years live.
Oh my god.
It's a lot of vocals that go really fast in that song.
Very fast.
That's going to be
very
work.
fast.
That one's going to be work.
And you're even playing one, like you said, on the next tour that hasn't been released yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
The one that will be the next single.
Awesome.
Is being played on that tour.
Beautiful. Dude, yeah, like it's I have at least somewhat of an understanding of what it's like to like I have to hold something back, and
right.
Oh, how hard that is. But
right.
but when you're putting in the work that you are and trying to do it right, like that's it's gonna come out the right way, and right. everybody's gonna be super excited about it. I know I already am, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great, and I really hope you guys have a awesome fucking European tour with.
Thank you.
It's a weird thing. Traditionally, especially I feel like in metal, but also in other genres of music, the common thing that's said is like, you just want to hear the hits. You don't want to hear new stuff. Everybody gets to know when you hear new stuff, whatever. But like for me, as a fan personally, if I go to a show like yours, like fucking Lamb of God, like Cannibal Corpse, like anybody, if they come out and they're like, this is a new unreleased track, I'm like, no fucking way. Like,
right.
We get to hear this right now.
That was the first time I heard Nightbringers from Dahlia was live before it came out. We played with Black Dahlia Murder on Summer Slaughter in Cincinnati in 2017. And they played Nocturnal cover to cover, which I was stoked. Oh. That's my favorite Dahlia record. And they played it cover to cover. And then at the end of the set, everything went dark for a second, and then everything lit back up red, and they played Nightbringers, and I was like, what? And nobody had heard it yet. Like, they were just playing it on that tour, and killer.
Dude, yeah.
So perfect example there, yeah.
It's so cool every time. I love it. Like, because like you'll hear the song and it I don't know. For some people, the first time they hear a song, they get everything out of it. For me, I have to listen to it over and over and over to get everything out of it. And
some songs just grow on you. Like there's been
exactly
a handful of songs that I've heard that I'm like, it's all right. But then after I've listened to it 10 times, I'm like, actually, this kind of rips. Like,
yep.
Yeah. No, I got stuff like that. It's rare anymore with how much music I hear.
Yeah.
Realistically.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
That like, it's rare that I hear a song and I'm just like jaw on the floor, like, holy shit.
Right.
It's kind of like desensitizes you to like hearing music. Unfortunately,
it does.
Because I'll hear a song within the first 10 seconds. I'm like,
yeah.
So I can only imagine what like some of these record labels over the years, like, if you've been an A&R guy for 20 years, it's like, you can tell in the first 5 seconds if you like this band or not.
But it's also, it's also like, the problem with the A&R people and the business side of it, obviously you and I are on the music side, but like, just because they don't like it doesn't mean the public won't. And the same with us. Same with us.
I mean, we've been told so many times that the corpse paint thing will never work playing like the music that we play.
And they're dead wrong.
It's like
they're dead fucking wrong.
Yeah, and that's been our attitude is, well, you're fucking wrong, because we see people getting the tattoos. We see people showing up at our shows with paint on. We see people stoked when they walk into Main Street and they literally put up like what looked like trash bag material around the entire inside of the venue because they knew we were just going to soak the place. And people are stoked because they're, hell yeah, I'm going to leave here covered in blood, And there's been people since we started throwing body parts earlier this year, even we've had people show up to other shows wearing them around their neck.
Right here.
Just at the last show. Yeah.
I caught these from you.
Yeah.
These fingers right here that I have around the microphone in every episode. I caught these from one of your shows. You threw them to me. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've thrown out a lot of those over the last couple tours. And I see people wearing them coming back to shows, which is just cool for me because it's like, you know, creating like this thing, you know what I mean? And all I can think of, especially with the fingers, man, is like I know you probably watched Metalocalypse.
Yeah.
For sure. But when they're at the Duncan Hills thing and they're like interviewing fans, and the one dude's like, I got my fingers cut off in a Death Clock show. Murderface rolled them up and smoked them. Like, it's just like, dude, Ron would do that though. Like so it's it just kind of reminds me of that when I hear people like, oh, I caught this fucking spleen at the show in Detroit, and the other person's like, well, I got these fingers in Cleveland, you know, like it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. And you guys, you like, didn't you like just start doing that
this year? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like one of the new things that we had.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
We have a lot of our people, like, not so much on like the far reaching shows like out west where like every show is like 6 to 8 hours apart. Yeah. But like when you get to like Florida, you'll see the same dude at like 4 shows in a row.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he'll just like go to every single one.
Yeah.
Same with like up here, like when we play Toledo, you'll see him in Toledo, you'll see him in Detroit, you'll see him in Battle Creek, they'll come to Indiana, they'll come to Cleveland, you know, like.
Yep.
So it's really cool because you see the same people over and over and over at these shows, and they're just as stoked as they were the night before. And it kind of makes us like, man, we got to do something extra tonight. Oh, we got to do something extra, you know. And every show kind of feels like that. So I don't know. It is what it is.
No, but it's a good thing because like that's really interesting that you say that actually, because like I listen to a lot of like, you know, comedians on podcasts and stuff like that and talking about their craft. Yeah. And they always like it's funny because a lot of them will say, a lot of rock stars want to be comedians and a lot of comedians want to be rock stars. And the biggest difference that they say is like, if you're a comedian, you have to go on stage every night with new material. You can't like recycle the same shit. Whereas if you're a rock star, all people seem to want are the hits. And so you get to play the same thing every night. And they, they go for the big examples like the Rolling Stones and shit like that. But like, it's interesting because you're not the first person that said that to me. And it's interesting to me that there seems to be this thing, this kind of almost like a budding resurgence of people following around their favorite bands like you guys. Even awesome. You know, at no matter what level. And they don't care if it's the same show every night, but you seeing them makes you feel like, oh, I got to give them something new. That's a very interesting perspective that I've never heard before.
Yeah, I mean, we always look at it too, like when we go back to the same city, like if this show was wild and we come back, we know this show is going to be wild too, but how can we top the last one?
How do we make it better?
Exactly. Otherwise, you know, I don't want to fall into the, oh man, yeah, I saw him, I'll skip this time, whatever. Like, right. I want to be that band that you don't want to miss once.
Right.
You know, that kind of thing. So it's like, and for me, I mean, we're always pushing ourselves. The first thing we do when we get into a venue is you'll see the whole band walk up to the stage and start discussing where we're going to put things and what we can pull off. And go up there and check the stage for, is there any weak spots that we should avoid? And we'll like literally put tape on the floor so none of us are like jumping there or whatever, and we have to do like a safety rundown of our show because we have real animal bones, we have real barbed wire up there, we have shit that can fuck you up on stage, like, and I mean, just think about Ron swinging that bass, dude. Like, that bass is heavier than a baseball bat.
Heavy metal,
you know.
The music you play is inherently more aggressive and more violent than most other music, and as a result, you guys move around a lot more. And I just saw it literally earlier today. I saw a story on like Facebook or some shit where Post Malone, a gigantic, fell through the stage, a gigantic fucking superstar, and these people didn't fucking get their stage shit right. Like that. This stuff's really important, man. It's very important. Very important.
Yeah. So we try to, from the second we get to a show till we're packing up at the end of the night, we just try to have everything as perfect as we can possibly make it. And we know what's going to happen, you know, later. Yeah, somebody's going to be fucked up later. Yeah, somebody's going to make a poor decision at some point. How do we fix that, you know, kind of thing? Like, I know we've played Toledo a couple times and people have been getting thrown into the stage so much that, like, at Death Fest, we have those big, heavy stage boxes that I'll climb up on.
Mm-hmm.
They were pushed back almost 5 feet from where they started in a V from people slamming into them from the crowd.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's just like, you know, maybe we should think about a barricade next time.
Yeah.
Not for my safety necessarily.
Right.
But
for theirs.
I don't want to see our fans getting knocked out on a stage box either, you know? Yeah. That thing's not really going very far. It's heavy. And you're going face first into it and making it move that much, man. That can't be good. No. I know we were watching, somebody did like a live stream of the Michigan Metal Fest of our set. And the pit was going during our set or whatever. And in this video, there's this dude, and he like clearly didn't mean to do it. Like, it wasn't like an intentional, like, I'm going to fuck this person up.
Right.
But, you know, he's moshing through the pit like this kind of thing. And he's like this big Viking looking dude. And he just catches this small chick, like elbow to the nose, like full force while she's running. She went completely just like parallel with the ground, lands on the ground and gets up, and she's holding her face and she's like coming towards the camera that they're filming on. She moves her hand, her nose is like sideways and there's blood all over her face. And I'm just like, I don't know who you are, but I really hope that you're okay. You know what I mean? Like,
that is
just so brutal, dude. Like,
that is fucking hilarious that you said that. Not what happened to her.
Yeah.
Not in any way that way. But that dude, I know exactly who you're talking about. A big ass, long hair, blonde,
he was crushing the pit, dude.
Viking looking motherfucker. Yeah. Oh yeah. Just no, dude.
Elbow, dude, and she was just destroyed. And he was unfazed. I don't even think he knew that
he probably didn't even know.
There were so many bodies flying around anyway. Like, I'm not faulting that dude at all. Like, this was not an intentional thing.
Yeah, he wasn't. He was never being violent, but
he's probably nice as hell.
But he doesn't know how big and strong he is either.
Well, I mean, there was also a lot of people in that pit when we did the Wall of Death, dude. Like, there was.
Oh yeah,
you got it on video. I've watched it.
I've seen it. Yeah,
there's a lot.
Yeah.
So like,
there was. It wasn't your pit, but there was another pit later in the day, and another Wall of Death that I jumped in, and it was totally normal fucking moshing, like totally normal, like nothing violent, like nothing, like
I didn't see anything crazy happening to anybody like that. Everybody was super respectful and was like picking each other up.
100%, dude. Exactly.
And just they caught this on the video, dude. Just like that split second right time, and I was like, we watched it on the bus, still sitting at Michigan Metal Fest.
Oh shit!
And we're like, because we were under that lightning going.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We were all just sitting in the bus, like, what do we do? I guess we'll, does anybody post anything? and just see, because we like to see what we look like because we don't get to see ourselves.
Yeah, for sure, of course.
So we're like, oh, like how did we do? And we're looking at it, dude, and we just at that moment we saw it, just wow. And then she gets up, runs over, and moves her hands like right before she gets to the camera, and it's like nose sideways, just blood.
My God.
And I'm like, oh man, I hope she's all right. Like,
oh no, that in the wall of death I jumped in, I bucked up against that same dude, and
that's a big dude.
He lit me the fuck up, dude. He like, I went like from like this to like this and landing on the ground, and it wasn't. Nothing was broken, but I definitely at least cracked or bruised a rib for sure. Sure. Because for like 2 weeks later, that shit hurt.
Yeah, I've had my fair share of my pit injuries. So have all my friends,
but that's the way of the game.
Yeah, it's part of it, but we don't ever like to see anybody get hurt.
Of course.
But
of course.
It happens.
Yeah, you don't want to see that ever, but like, but also for the people in the crowd, like me, it's like, like if I go in a pit and I don't get even like a scratch or injured at all, like was that even a pit? Like,
like, man, I've been retired from moshing for a little bit because I'm old and usually I'm on tour. So
Exactly. You're on
like this the next day.
You're on the stage. You're causing the pits.
Yeah. So I'm cool doing that. I'm good. I stand in the back and watch the bands now. But
I've been starting to do
I had
that.
my day where I was in the pit every show. Even on tour, I'd be moshing for local bands before we even went on.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And the last pit I was probably in was Whitechapel, and they came to Toledo. I wasn't on tour. I had a fair amount to drink, and it was the tour that they were playing. This Is Exile cover to cover, and they were on tour with Oceano and Slaughter to Prevail and Chelsea Grin. So I had just watched Oceano, Slaughter to Prevail, Chelsea Grin, and I was not in the pit for any of it. I stood by the bar. I was standing there having my drink, whatever.
So it was building the whole time.
Whitechapel came out. Father Eliza, like, kept it together. They do that first vocal thing for This Is Exile, dude. I ran out there and got knocked on my ass immediately. Like, it was like 3 steps into the pit and I caught an elbow to the mouth.
Oh,
and like, I hit the floor. I got right back up and just kept moshing,
And
I woke up the next day and I'm hungover as shit, obviously, because I had to be drunk to go jump in the Whitechapel pit.
Yeah.
I wake up, dude. It looked like I got in a fight, man. I had bruises all over the place, just like could barely move.
Yep.
And I was like, man, that was a bad call.
And that is one thing I will say for like when I got lit up by that big Viking dude, immediately 4 people were on me.
Oh yeah, dude. Everybody at Michigan Metal Fest was super cool.
It was fantastic.
As far as that went.
Yeah. Like,
and dude, even in the rain and lightning,
dude,
when we got done, there was a whole line at our merch booth just trying to come hang out. And it was like, this is awesome, man. This is awesome. I did see you right after our set for like a minute.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna run to the merch tent. I'm gonna go back and find him. And like, then we got the lightning delay. I ended up sitting on the bus just trying to dry out for a little bit. And then by the time I came back out, I never saw you again. But yeah, dude, I was like, that was such a great show. It was such a train wreck, but it was such a blast.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. But yeah, man, like it whew, sometimes you get lit up in the mosh pit,
it's
but
a part of it.
It's part of the game. Like you take that risk when you jump into it. And
I totally don't approve of like the people that crowd kill though.
Absolutely not.
Like if I see that shit, I will literally stop our set and be like, you are a piece of shit. Stop doing what you're doing or get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. No,
I don't deal with that at all. But if you're moshing, dude, and it gets rough, like I get it, man. I've been in Cannibal Corpse pits.
Oh yeah.
Pits and
Hatebreed pits. Yeah.
Yeah, Hatebreed pits are probably some of the roughest.
Devil Driver.
But yeah, dude. So like, I get it, man, but I don't like people being like blatantly disrespectful to other people.
No. You don't be mean. You're like, everybody's here to have fun.
No,
you got to keep that in mind.
I will say at Toledo Death Fest, at Michigan Metal Fest, everybody was super cool, picking each other up. It was all good times.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I wanted to make Toledo Death Fest really bad this year, but I couldn't.
Next year, man, you better be there.
I will. Yep. I will. Because that's a show. I feel like one day there will be a documentary about that festival, because it's something that's gone on. You guys are such a critical part of it. And it's something that's gone on for so long that like there's definitely a story to be told there. And speaking of stuff like that, I have a question for you, actually. Kind of a weird one. Like kind of like totally off anything. Hold on, let me oh wait, let me bring it up real quick. Have you heard of this? There's a documentary out called Between Exultation and Aggression, an extreme/death metal documentary film by Noise Dosage Media. You've heard of this?
Yeah, and I've actually done an interview with Noise Dosage.
No shit. Really?
Yeah, they're based out of New York, I believe.
Okay.
But I've heard of that, and I did watch some of it, but I didn't finish it yet.
Yeah, it's very long.
Yeah,
it's very long. But the dude,
I have not finished it.
I think I'm not 100% sure. I don't have a name yet, but I think the dude that made it hit me up wanting to be on the show, and I'm about it's literally 5 minutes short of 3 hours long. It's 2 hours and 55 minutes long.
I started watching it and I did not get through it, but I will at one point.
I only have 35 minutes left in it, and my God, like it is so good, and it's like it's kind of funny because the entire time I'm watching it the last couple of days, one of the main things I thought was, how the fuck is the Convalescence not in this? It totally seems like it's a very, very good documentary on a lot of levels. And I thought you guys would have been a perfect fit for it.
We talked to them, I want to say 2019 or 2020, but it was just like a phone interview.
Okay. All right.
So,
all right.
But yeah, no, I'm sure it's a great documentary. I knew about it. I just haven't been able to like sit down and watch 3 hours of anything. Really?
Yeah, no, that's fucking hard anytime. Yeah, that's why I've been kind of, because it very similarly to Metal Headbangers Journey. It's kind of broken up into chunks.
I own that. I've seen that
a million times. So you know how that one is like culture and fit, like it's broken up. This one kind of does the same thing. So I've been watching it in those kind of chunks. And they do it very differently. They do it very differently than almost any other documentary I've ever seen. But it like the interviews that they got and everything are really, really fantastic. And I think the last 25 minutes are going to get really interesting, because that's where they go into like the tour stories and stuff like that. But I wanted to ask you about it. I was curious if you had seen it, because he just hit me up, and I just been watching it recently, and I was
I would definitely have him on the show, dude, for sure.
Oh no, I'm totally gonna. But I was just wondering if you had seen it and what you thought of it, because I just felt like it was like absolutely the only thing it's missing is the Convalescence. Like I literally thought that the entire time. and because everything, like the conversation that they're having and everything that they're talking about, it just, to me, like is everything that you guys are about and everything. And it just, it stuck out to me a little bit. But I wanted to ask you about that real quick. And honestly, like we have been going way longer than we anticipated.
Yeah, for sure.
as we always do, maybe I'll split this up into 2 episodes. I don't know. I'll
There you
figure it
go.
out. But I had I guess the last thing that we haven't talked about yet is honestly the one thing that you mentioned to me earlier that I had no idea about, a race car sponsor.
Yeah.
You guys, what is that?
We sponsored a race car this year, which is driven by Randy Paget Jr. He races at Flat Rock Speedway and Toledo Speedway in the ARCA factory stock car series.
Okay.
And he drives the 0-1 car, and he actually saw us at Hallowicked when we played up there in Detroit.
Oh, cool.
And he added me on Facebook and stuff, and I saw he was looking for sponsors for his car. And we worked out, a deal and stuff. And this entire season, he's had a photo shoot picture and our logo of the band on his hood for all the races. And the last race is coming up October 8th at Toledo Speedway. And he is currently the points leader. So if he does well in this race, he will win the ARCA Factory Stock Championship this year with us.
Oh, wow.
That's been pretty killer. I didn't know if you saw that or not. I think we sponsored it and announced it back in June.
I think I saw some pictures of the hood and stuff like that. Yeah.
But yeah, he's done really well. He's the points leader with 1 race left to go.
That's awesome.
So,
that's
cool
awesome.
stuff.
That's great. Hell yeah. Well, then that's happening on October 8th.
Yes.
Awesome. Fantastic. I'll be sure to keep an eye out for that.
Sure.
But yeah, man. Well, I mean, I do have, and I can cut this out if you want, but one last question. Because I know that when you filmed the 79 years video, you were there, as you mentioned earlier, with a paranormal investigation group that was supposed to put out a video of you guys investigating that place. Is there any news on that at all?
Just talked to her a couple days ago. Basically what happened was it took a minute for us to get all the footage to her. There was so much footage on our end that we had to mail a hard drive to her.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay.
So they had to sift through a lot of footage.
Yeah, for sure.
The original people she had editing it did a terrible job. And I said, let's redo it. She tried to get them to redo it. They kind of messed around for a long time. She hired somebody else. They fucked around. And so it's mostly done. All the subtitling work and stuff is done. It's relatively put together. It just needs some finishing touches. Okay. But now she's in the process of moving.
Okay. So
from one state to the other side of the country.
Oh shit.
So it's a big thing. So I'm sure it will be out soon.
Beautiful. No.
It's just kind of we're waiting.
Circumstantial YouTuber life kind of shit. That's totally understandable. Totally understandable. Okay.
But I was just curious.
I was just curious personally because I've been really looking forward to that. But all right, man. This has been great. This we went through everything. So this has been amazing as always.
For sure, man. Thanks for having me on.
I can never thank you enough for being on. It always means the world to me every time I get to chat with you. And you guys will be here through October. You'll still be at home.
Yeah. I'll be here through October and all of November up until Thanksgiving, and then we'll be taking off for Europe, and we'll be back just right before Christmas.
All right. Well, then sometime in the next week or so, I'm going to create a sort of blueprint of what I want to do for Halloween in October and everything for Lost in the Dark and Follow the Reaper and everything. And I'll hit you up because I'll definitely want you to be a part of it. in some way, shape, or form. So hopefully we'll have you back on in some way very soon. But as always, thank you so much for
no problem,
being on the
thank
show.
you.
Like this was amazing, and some of those stories you told were fucking incredible, dude. Literally, movies could be made of them. So
hopefully someday.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you so much, and I'll end the recording, and then we can hop off afterwards. But thank you, and everyone watching, huge round of applause for Keith from the Convalescence. Thank you all so much for watching. And that's it. And we're out. Thank you everyone so much for watching this episode. And always, always, always a huge thank you to Keith. He has he's waved our flag harder than a lot, and we can never thank him enough for it, for coming back on the show all the time. And it is always an absolute honor getting to sit down and talk to him. He has some of the greatest fucking stories. Every fucking tour, shit goes crazy, and they have some of the best stories. Absolutely amazing. So this was, as always, this was a great episode, and we can absolutely, from the bottom of my heart, I can never thank him enough for giving us the time that he's given us on this show. And fingers crossed, we'll be able to get him back for at least a little something. Maybe not a full episode, but maybe we'll put something together, a little something for the Halloween, for all of this Halloween stuff we got planned. This is a big time of year for Lost in the Dark, Lost in the Bog Talk, all of us. This is a big time of year for all of us. We try to do as much content as we can for the Halloween season, because it's kind of our thing. So as always, thank you so much, everyone, for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Keith, from the bottom of my heart. The Convalescence, Keith and the Convalescence mean the absolute world to me. Absolutely, like one of my absolute favorite bands of all time, and especially seeing them live, everything they put out is more and more amazing every time, and they blow me away every chance they get. So absolutely outstanding. Thank you so much, my friend, and we hope to hear from you again soon. But for everybody else, that's it. That's episode, I think, 246. I think that's episode 246 for Lost in the Dark podcast. Thank you all so much for watching. And as always, we got a lot more coming very, very soon. But until next time, raise your fucking horns and bang your goddamn heads to some motherfucking Convalescence. We love you all to death. Good night.
Lost in the dark.